Hey everybody, this is Reuben from Pop Goulash. I just wanted to reach out to everybody and say, hey, you can follow us on social media on Facebook at facebook.com/popgoulash. You can also follow us on Twitter at Pop Goulash. If you want to participate with the show, please feel free to email us at popgoulash42@gmail.com. And we also have a voicemail number where if you want to leave us a voicemail, let us know how we're doing or have any suggestions for us, you can reach us at 224-325-4235. And we will see you soon. Thank you very much, and let's get this show on the road. Strap on your ear goggles, bitches. It's time for Pop Goulash. I'm Reuben Hood.
I'm Dana Kroll.
And what's going on, people?
Happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday to you.
What a week, sir.
It's been a week.
It has been a week.
Oh, man, we finally got the young one into daycare. So now we have now we have two in daycare.
Aww,
yeah, it's
little nuggets.
I know. Kirsten was very emotional on Monday when we dropped him off.
I'm sure.
But, you know, it's like we know the daycare. I mean, Grayson's been there for 2 years now, so he's in a good spot. It's not like he's going to get eaten or, molested.
Oh, Jesus.
Or some other random woman's going to breastfeed your child.
No, that ain't
Hey,
happening.
Assface, you introduce yourself before you talk on the mic.
Yeah, wait.
He's not
Dude,
really our guest.
No, you know what we need to do? We totally need to, Iron Chef this shit, and he needs to ask for permission before he's allowed to speak.
Five.
So we'll
Arigato.
So then,
Yeah, get the fuck off the mic.
that's as always our third mic producer Jake.
What up?
The third wheel.
Yeah.
I love you though, darling.
Love you too, babe.
This is a total cuckold kind of situation without being totally naked and dirty and cheating.
We're not sticking things places, I promise.
Just stuff in your ear holes.
We're not playing the hide the kielbasa.
No pee-pees in the mouth for this episode to our friends listening from the GARMY page.
We're not in Hollywood, so we're not sticking dicks in our mouths.
No.
Oh, Christ.
All right. So what's been on your platter this week?
Dude, it's been a week. I mean, it's Dad is still recovering, but
Good.
It's great. He's doing well. Jake and I are going over to see the parents tomorrow. So I mean that's the big thing now, right? So taking care of the folks. Work. work and
What have you
praying not to be laid off.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Thanks. So never mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. No.
Thanks, Obama.
I was gonna say it too. But I love the man. I know what you're gonna ask me, but I'll let you ask it.
What have you been consuming this week?
I have been laying off on music really until today because it was 65 today.
Yeah, it was gorgeous today.
It was gorgeous in the Chicagoland area.
This is unheard of for a February, mid-February. Usually,
we broke a record.
Yeah, usually mid-February, I've got ice on my testicles.
Right. You hate life.
And you hate everybody that ever wants to speak with you, breathe in you. Someone who wants to love you, you want to stab them in the throat. Because that's just Chicago in
with
February.
Your nipples that could cut glass. Well,
Dude, you know what, though? It gets cold here, and it gets cold in Chicago.
Sure. But Chicago's worse.
Oh, I don't know. Do you remember those winters out in DeKalb?
I do. Well, that's because we were in a friggin' open field, man. That's
sucked. That was brutal.
Yeah, but when you're in downtown Chicago, though, man, and
when it whips through the buildings.
Yes, it's terrible because it's like a wind tunnel, and you're praying that you don't lose an arm because
you're
the
praying
wind
that
is so bad.
And you're praying that a massive piece of ice doesn't fall on your fucking head.
Oh my God, the buildings that I used to work at downtown too, you would always see the signs that would say "Watch for ice."
Yeah.
Which actually, this is a great segue for this. So I was watching, there was something on NBC earlier today because they were talking about breaking the fucking record, right? With the temperature. And a bunch of people went to Lake Michigan to go surfing today.
Because they're stupid.
Exactly. All these dip fucks wound up getting hit with like ice. I mean, duh. It's
What do you
fucking
mean that there's
February.
ice in the middle of the lake? It's 65 degrees outside.
Right. It was like 30 degrees overnight, and you think that you're gonna friggin' surf in Lake Michigan? Come on, guys.
They came out of the water looking like Dusty Rhodes after a barbed wire cage match.
People were ice fishing on that lake like 3 weeks ago.
Yes. No, they were even ice fishing out by my folks like last week.
Dude, they're on Stearns Road here, out by
Oh,
Bartlett.
yeah.
Now, mind you, we're getting really local at this point, so I apologize.
We're not going to give out addresses, though.
No, but we're going to talk pretty local here for at least the next 5 minutes. So if you want to like hit the fast forward 15
Skip.
seconds, I don't
You
give a
can
shit.
s- Okay,
a little bit of
skippers.
inside baseball here.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a pond, like a pretty decent sized pond on Stearns Road once you get to the Bartlett/Wayne area.
Oh, yeah.
And there's always like pods out there for people who are ice fishing this
I
time of
always
year.
want them to fall, man.
Dude, what? Dude, that last warmer-ish snap we had,
Yeah.
one of those pods actually went into the water. And because people leave them out there.
Oh, my God.
And then it iced over. So all you saw was like tent poles sticking out of the ice. Oh my God.
Well, do you remember that shit last year in Lake Geneva when all those dumbasses parked on the lake
And
and,
their cars went
sunk?
into the lake?
Yeah.
Dumbasses.
I looked at pictures, and I'm going to get a little inside baseball for you two, but there was a fucking Ford Excursion diesel 4x4. That's like an 8,000-pound truck.
Wait, you're talking about
Oh,
last year,
car
right?
shit.
Yeah, last
Yeah,
year.
I know. Exactly. Snooze.
8,000-pound truck on the ice. Okay, yeah. Fuck you guys.
You have your own
It's not-
podcast
yeah,
to
it's not
talk
your
car
podcast.
shit. Anyway, go ahead, Jake. You could.
Wait, I need to wipe the drool off Reuben's face first.
That ain't drool, baby.
If I could do that, I'd never leave the house.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, Liam Neeson is my middle name. Anyway.
Oh, my goodness. What a week. Okay, so back to, so I've been consuming some music. It's mostly been TV shit, though. Yeah, I don't blame you. But, and we'll get into this more later, but This Is Us, man. That's going to kind of be the theme of this episode.
Squirt, 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 squirt.
Yeah,
squirt.
man. I'm glad you watched the episode, like this week's episode tonight
Yeah.
before we.
So
hung
we'll
out.
get into that in a bit.
But
so.
yeah, but that, I mean, honestly, it's. I was consuming a lot of R&B music, 90s R&B music on my way
Really,
home today.
I'll
Well,
be sure.
Yeah, well, that's like early. I was listening to that earlier today at work.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
mind you,
Eric B. and Rakim. Yeah.
R.I.P. Al Jarreau passed away this week.
Oh my gosh, yeah. When was it? Was it a week ago already?
No. It was like Monday or Tuesday.
It was
Yes.
after the Grammys or before the Grammys. I'm sorry, it was before
Grammys
the
were on
Grammys.
Sunday.
Yeah, it was before then
Was it-
because they did. Yeah, I think
they
it was
do a
like
tribute?
Saturday.
Was it?
I think so. It's within this last
Motherfucker's dead. Okay, R.I.P. We haven't recorded since then.
week. This is true.
Now, okay, so before Dana gets a little deeper, let's just I just want to put this out there, and I didn't know Dana mentioned it on our Facebook page today.
Yeah, we had fucking technical difficulties.
Dude, last week we recorded an epic podcast with Steve Warrenfeltz of Kiss the Sky Records in Batavia, Illinois. And it was like a 3-hour podcast.
Yes,
it
it
was
was.
so much fun. And then we realized that the port that his microphone was plugged into was not an amplified port.
My bad.
and so
and-
it sounded
and-
like this the whole time.
And in order for Jake to properly produce said episode and raise the levels, he was estimating a 20
hours, yeah.
to 20 hours to edit it. Now, maybe
At minimum.
That was
what we could do,
delicious.
you know, when Jake has spare moments, maybe he can monkey with it to try to salvage it at some point in the near future.
Maybe.
But as of right now, it's going to be shelved unless he deleted the file. I hope to God he did not delete the file.
It's still saved in on your computer and mine,
Okay,
so
cool.
it could always become the Pop Goulash lost episode.
Yeah, the episode
And
that,
we'll
that
charge
could
you
have been.
fuckers $59.99 for it too on the
It could be
iTunes
It
store.
could be our vinyl cast.
Yeah, that's going to be the can I exchange this for the Keep It episode. But yeah, it was an epic episode. It was wonderful. Steve was such a gracious guest and just a fount of information
Yes.
and stories. But we will be rebooking him. We might even do it in store at Kiss the Sky.
Which I think would be fun.
That'll be
That would be
fun.
great. and it's not like it's going to take us a ton of time to schlep this stuff around over there. So I'm not worried about that.
So just so you know, like we put the episode 2.5 up, which was me recorded like a week prior to that, just to kind of satiate you guys. And I apologize for my stupid ramblings.
It wasn't stupid at all.
It was a good show, man.
No, it was terrible.
No, Reuben. Okay. I will smack the hell out of you later. It was not a bad episode at all. Here's the thing, though, man. We riff off of each other. We know that. And
yeah.
But I think you did a great job for doing it on your own.
For someone that's been doing this for months now, I'll be honest, the hardest thing when it comes to podcasting is sitting in a room by yourself and talking and stretching it out and making it work. That's why almost every episode I have is me interviewing somebody, because it is tough to sit and talk.
Well, then
by
maybe
yourself.
I'll come and steal some of your friggin' episodes too. Cool? Thanks.
Come on in. Come on down.
Walk right in, step on down. Anyway, so yeah, we had that epic podcast. I'm sorry, I did not mean to steal your thunder from
it's okay.
your pop consumption of the week, but
It's all good.
yeah. So anyway, what are you consuming aside
Dude,
from
I'm
90s
still telling
R&B?
you, Baskets. You have to watch Baskets,
Dude,
man.
it took me over a week to almost watch, or it took me almost a week to watch this last episode of This Is
Crimea
Us.
River, Justin. Dude, you can totally watch it. They're like 22-minute episodes. It will not take you long to catch up. You have to watch that show. It is hysterical. Zach Galifianakis is kind of like my spirit animal. I'm just going to say it. He is hilarious.
I was listening to
Between Two Ferns.
No. Dude, his Between Two Ferns with President Obama was epic.
Brad Pitt was pretty fucking great, and so
I
was
didn't see that
Bieber.
one.
Oh my God!
He did one with Bieber?
Yes.
What?
I swear that he did one with Bieber.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure he did. Well, you
'Cause
need to
you're
look
a
that up,
little
producer
All right,
Jake.
Producer Jake. Doing
Anyway,
his job.
but yeah,
Good
no, I
job.
was listening to The Nerdist today because they had Pete Holmes on, and Pete Holmes is doing his own TV show now on HBO called Couches, I think is what it's called. Or Crashing, one of the two. Like, I can't remember what the name of his show is. I'm not his friend.
Right.
I'm not promoting it. I don't work for comedy, or I don't work for HBO. But
Right.
he was on The Nerdist today, and he was actually talking about baskets.
See, I'm telling you, man, it's just it. And Louis Anderson.
I
Is
know.
the
I hear he's
mom.
amazing. I hear he's amazing in it,
It's
and he's just playing
hysterical.
himself, but with a wig.
Right. Well, yeah, it
Oh,
wasn't it? Yeah,
producer
dude.
Jake
Beebs.
said
Yeah,
Beebs
it was
was on.
between because I remembered that one. Because I think it was shortly before they decorated my desk in Bieber faces when I went on vacation a few years ago. It was pretty hilarious.
So what? They just put a bunch of vaginas all over your desk?
That's pretty much what it looked like.
Bunch of weeping, bleeding vaginas.
I came back from New York.
Fuck that guy.
And it's when I was working downtown at the ad agency, and I come back to my fucking desk and everything.
I remember that. You posted it on Facebook. It
Yes.
was hilarious.
They photoshopped my face in with a picture of Bieber. It was hilarious, but yeah, good times.
So, anyway.
But yeah, so
Baskets.
like I said, This Is Us. It's been, like I said, I'm also trying to catch up on my class, man, because they granted me an extension with everything going on with
That's
my
rad.
pops.
Yeah, because I
So
thought you were just like dirt off your shoulder. I'm done.
I was gonna, but this girl can't get an F. Like I couldn't take it. I was I'm total nerd, and it's fine. But my teacher was such a cool, agreeable guy, and he said, "I want to be able to help you out." So
He's a wannabe.
No, he had heart surgery last year too.
Fuck that. I had heart
So-
surgery a fuck ton of times.
I know, but I'm saying like he understood what the hell was going on. So this week has kind of just been a lot of catch up for me. So
Right on.
I don't have a whole lot of new things that I've been consuming this week.
That's all good, man. Things
know.
happen. I'll have those weeks as well. But
Right.
this week has been like crazy for me.
Has it?
Yeah, like I've been just catching up on a bunch of crazy shit. I've been catching up on The Walking Dead.
See,
Like,
I don't watch it.
dude, I was like the mid-season premiere just happened on Sunday night.
Okay.
I haven't watched at all this season.
Oh.
Like I saw the first episode to watch Dale and Abraham's brains get back, or not Dale, but I can just hear a gang of 1,000 nerds yelling at me. It was Glenn, you fucker. But yeah, I watched the first episode to watch Glenn and Abraham get their brains bashed in by Lucille. But I haven't really had a chance to watch the rest of it. 'Cause
Okay.
I can't, like, in the era BG, which is before Grayson,
Right.
I would just,
Binge watch.
Kirsten would doing work on the couch and I'd be watching it, whatever. Well, now that Grayson's around, I can't really just pop it on and say, "Hey, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch this fucking zombie show, kid. Play with your Legos.
Cover your eyes, son. Cover
Right?
your eyes and go play with your old McDonald Legos.
Yeah,
Earmuffs.
earmuffs.
Total earmuffs.
So I've been kind of catching up on that one, and dude, the season's kind of slow.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of rumblings of people bitching about it and whatnot, but like, if they follow what the comics did after this character Negan shows up,
Okay.
it's gonna get really fucked up.
So I've been watching it, and I let it myself fall behind. In fact, a week ago, I finally just caught up. And I just recently, I watched the mid-season premiere right after, like 2 days after.
Yeah.
Like on Tuesday, I watched it. And yeah, this season started out hideously slow.
Well,
But
yeah, because after
it
the whole
has-
Negan thing, like everybody had that big pushback. But you know, that's the crazy thing is like everybody was like, "Oh, it was so violent. It was the most violent thing," and they're like,
Have you seen a Rob Zombie movie?
"Yeah, but this is on network television,
yeah,
or this is on
cable.
cable
It's on
television."
cable.
basic
Right.
cable.
But the crazy thing is that yeah, okay, that one was pretty violent, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, they must have tailored the rest of the season to it." Those episodes were already in the can before people started like
Right.
wetting their
Bitching
britches.
about it. Yeah. The Dave Chappelle ripoff of that
Oh my
episode
God.
was
on Saturday Night
hysterical.
Live was
Yes.
great with Tyrone Biggums.
Yes.
Now, I will admit, the season, it started out slow, but it is one hell of a progression, and it's just, now it's gotten me to the point, right before this mid-season premiere, I've been aching to see what the hell happens next.
Aching in your loins.
Yes.
Did you
Crying in your pants.
Did you cry in your
Yeah.
pants?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
That
No.
should be our sign off.
Yeah, right. Don't cry in your pants, bitches. But no, like, because, okay, even as shitty and slow as these first few episodes have been, it's still better than Fear the Walking Dead. That show is an abortion on television.
I don't agree with you completely.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Fear the Walking Dead. Here's what's for me with Fear the Walking Dead. You, from the get-go, cared about every person on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
You know, every character was somebody that was relatable and likable. On Fear the Walking Dead, they're all a bunch of cunts.
Really?
Dude, they're horrible people, and after, like, I watched the first season, and then, like, they're on a boat for the second season. I'm like,
Well, only the first couple episodes.
like, fuck that. That was enough for me. I'm like, these self-absorbed LA douchebags, I hope they all get eaten by fucking zombies. Fuck these guys.
Are these free-range zombies, or
I-
are they cage-free?
Well, this one was named George, and he was raised in Montana, and he was in an open field, but he had plenty to feed on. Most of them were militiamen that didn't know how to use their guns properly.
I'll tell you, like I said, I don't watch the show, but the few episodes that I've caught with Jake,
Of Fear the Walking Dead or of The
both,
Walking Dead?
both, because the few episodes that I caught with Jake of The Walking Dead were actually good, and for somebody who doesn't watch, I could get into it. But Fear the Walking Dead, he turned it on, and immediately I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna do homework.
I didn't care for any of the characters at all, and I appreciate the fact that like they're trying to expand the Walking Dead universe,
Sure.
and they're doing something completely outside of the comic realm. They're starting something brand new.
But I don't know.
But
that
at the
it's
same
gonna
time,
sustain itself.
Look, I give a fuck less about the gray hair on my nuts than I give a fuck about that show.
There's one character that I watched that show for,
What,
and
the-
I can't remember the kid's name, but he was the
junkie
heroin-
kid?
Yes.
Fuck him.
No, the story arc that they have built with him, where he actually comes into like a settlement in a Mexican town and actually starts to make something of himself and stand up. It's on par with what is happening. Well, I don't want to spoiler alert.
Yeah, fuck spoilers. I don't give a shit. The second season's already over. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm still three episodes behind.
No. Oh, what of Fear the Walking Dead?
Yes,
Oh,
I
well,
still have 3 episodes left to watch.
I'm not gonna watch that shit. Anyway, but the dude looks like Julian Casablancas from.
Oh God, from
The
the
Strokes. Dude, he seriously does. He looks like
fucking Strokes.
he looks like a
dude.
junked out version of Julian Casablancas. It's crazy. So yeah, so I've been catching up on that. Wednesday was comic book day, so I went to my
Oh,
local
nice.
store, Dreamland Comics, and picked up my comic
The one in
books.
Schaumburg, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I love that store. People give it shit, and it's not
Why?
because like Lynn that is the lady that runs the counter.
And she donated last year to
She
our
did.
fundraiser. Yeah.
She's a really nice lady. I don't know, like, if she reads books. I know it's her husband's business.
Okay.
So it's not like one of those kind of stores where I could go in and talk comics to the people.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a lot of shit, and I enjoy it. So, but I went in there, and I've been reading this book called Sex Criminals.
Yeah, you
And-
need to enlighten us on this.
So, I think I can't think they're on episode issue like 15 or something like that right now, and it's written by Matt Fraction and illustrated by Chip Zdarsky. Matt Fraction is famous for doing. He's written for Iron Man. He's a Marvel guy. He's written for Iron Man. He's written Thor. He's written a bunch of shit. The guy is an excellent writer. And Chip Zdarsky he's like a fun artist, but he's also a writer as well.
Zdarsky, not Zdarsky, like
No.
Amy Zdarsky.
ZDSARSKY.
Got it. Okay.
And he's actually going to be at C2E2 this year. I'm going to hope that he'll cut a promo for us.
That would be fantastic.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I got a picture of he and Eli slapboxing. It was hilarious.
Oh, God.
But so the whole story is about this gal who, when she was growing up, she had like a shitty family life, blah 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 blah. But she got into the how did they put it? When she went to the bath and the water splashed on her hoo-ha,
Oh, God.
she got a funny feeling.
Didn't we all when that happened?
But then she realized the world stopped around her. So like
When her
she,
hoo-ha was being stimulated, the world stopped.
yes. Like when she had an orgasm, the world stopped and she could move about the world and do whatever she wanted to do because
Like Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell when he would do a timeout.
Freeze.
I don't know the reference.
Ah! Okay. Anyway.
Sorry, dude. I was working in high school. I didn't have time to watch
It was
Saved by
on
the
when
Bell.
we were kids.
Dude, I'm
Junior
older
high.
than you, yo.
By a year.
2.
No, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 38.
Yeah, I just turned 39,
Yeah. I'm going to be 38
Nonetheless,
April.
dude, seriously, I fucking like all this 90s TV that everybody's like, "Oh, this is so good." I have no idea about any of it.
You weren't working when you were 11. Anyway, okay, so her cooter stops time
Yes.
when it blows off.
And then like she finds this dude who does the same thing.
What?
Yes. It's like this thing. They haven't explained why it happens or how it happens, but it happens to many people. And like it's so great because John, the main character or the dude, he he'll whack off in the bathroom at a bank and then he goes and shits and plants at the bank and stuff because he hates his job. So he does all this fucked up shit at work. But
If only. No.
yeah. So like Jake's about to two-fist it.
No, I think he's helping you out.
Oh, dude, I still got like a halfy here.
Oh, I thought you were shaking a beer.
No,
Ruben
no.
just said he has a halfie here. You guys heard it first. Cool. Anyway.
You're welcome, Reuben.
Anyway, so then like the chick and I can't remember her name, but the lead chick in the story,
The cooter blower, yeah.
the cooter blower, we'll call her CB for short. So she works at this library and she finds out that the bank that John works at is foreclosing on the library, which is really kind of suspension of disbelief is hard on me on that one because libraries are usually publicly funded.
That's what I was going to say. Like, that's why the look of confusion has
Yeah.
taken over my face.
But you know what? For the suspense of disbelief, it's a comic book. Who gives a shit?
Right.
So like they come up with this like cockamamie scheme to like fuck, and then like the world stops. They rob the bank and they pay off the loan back to the bank.
I was actually going to that was going to be my next question. If somebody robbed the bank while they stopped time
Which
by coming.
they are sex criminals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
So then like they find out that there's like sex criminal police, and the lead chick. That's like, yeah, they all woohoo, and then next thing you know, they're like, "I'm the police. Don't fuck around when you're fucking around."
You
know?
mean like Law and Order SVU?
Yeah, but it's but it's like
Gong,
it's like Law and Order SV Poon.
Gong gong.
So like there's this chick and like two like her cronies, and they're like the police of the like. Okay, the chick calls it the quiet when she gets into this sexy world, and the
Sexy
dude,
time, sexy
yeah,
time.
and John calls it cum world.
I mean, that's what I want to call it.
Right.
Cum world. Yeah.
So when they're in cum world, like this is like the cop. So like this chick is like fucking with them the entire time. So they start calling her Kegel face. So like,
You have to be making this up.
no, I am not. It's a dude. I got issues.
Yeah, you got issues. That's no joke. But
In the long box
have,
is here.
I might have to borrow this now. Now you've intrigued me.
No, it's most of this is the one comic that I subscribe to digitally. I think I only have like 3 issues.
Hard copies?
Hard copy. The rest of it's digital. If you want, I'll hook you up with my Comixology.
as are
It's
most
great.
people with their private cum world stuff.
It's all
mostly
digital.
now, and most people don't have hard copies.
Why do you think they make phone screens now?
Right. Delete dude, if anything ever happens, delete my web history.
We ever notice
Clear the cookies.
phones got smaller and smaller and smaller, and then somebody realized we could watch porn on them, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger.
As Dana looks at her phone. So
my iPhone 7-inch Plus. Anyway.
Jake's
My nickname
a
is
little bit
iPhone, apparently.
you're envious. So, but yeah, so for whatever reason, they took 8 months off of this book, and then they finally came back. Like, just this, like, it kind of happens in comics sometimes. Like, creators get very busy, and with
other projects.
Yeah, with this particular book, it's on Image, so it's a creator. It's on the brand of Image Comic, which also publishes The Walking Dead.
Oh.
Image is very big on creator-owned properties, so like they can stop and start whenever the fuck they want.
Oh.
And they all have they have the rights to the book. So like if they want to option it for movies,
Okay.
TV shows, whatever, they have the right, they make the money off of it, which is kind of cool. I mean, Image
Yeah.
makes their money as well, but it's creator-owned properties. So like, you know, they took 8 months, and I'm like, I just asked Lori over at Dreamland. I'm like, so what's going on with sex criminals? And she's like, I don't fucking know. So she's like, why are you reading that, you fucking perv?
What's his
but yeah,
license plate again?
yeah, right. But they finally came back, and this last issue, like seriously, like the first 10 pages were catch up of the previous like book. It
It's
was
like a fucking TV show where they
Yeah.
do like the
Previously
like
on.
Yeah.
SV Poon. Yeah. It was like a 40-page episode or 40-page issue. And the craziest thing was the price on it was $4.69.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. So yeah, that was kind of my reading material. Plus I've been starting to read Animal Farm over again, George Orwell's Animal Farm.
Oh, okay.
Which I haven't read since like 7th or 8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
I recently reread a book that I read in I think it was my senior year.
Oh,
of
you
high
reread
school.
Curious George, didn't you?
It was Green Eggs and Ham.
Oh, the places you'll go.
Right. It was actually it's how interesting that you're rereading books too. It's a book called She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. It's like a fucked up story that I can somewhat relate to. Yeah. It's about this girl. It talks about like her life and growing up and stuff and all like the fucked up things that happened to her. And she was a victim of rape when she was a kid and like all this shit. And then then they flash forward to her life in college and she became this very obese woman. And it was just like, I hadn't read it in so long, and I was thinking about it a few weeks ago. I was like, man, I wonder whatever happened to my copy of that book. And so I ordered it
You're
again.
like, I wonder whatever happened to those characters. Did they make a sequel?
Right.
Did they reboot it?
Right. Did they rewrite the book at the end? But I reread the book and I just finished it this week. So that was satisfying for me to be able to like fit that in
Nice.
between life.
Nice.
So yeah.
So, but yeah, so I was reading. That's cool. I don't know what to say about that. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're rereading a book. You know, I'm glad that we're reading. And no, we're not going to take your fucking book selections, okay?
Yeah.
People, I'm sorry. I love you guys. I love all of our listeners, but if we're going to read a book, we're going to read a book that we're going to read. We'll listen to any record, CD you want. We'll watch whatever movie
Yeah, which
you're
means you
recommending.
people need to start sending in suggestions too.
We have one.
popgoulash42@gmail.com.
And if you listen to the bumper I did before the episode started, you'll get our phone number, and you can also look at our Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
But I also this week listened to I've been listening to a lot of stuff. Man, I fucking love Spotify.
The Prince. Holy shit! They released all of like
no,
his. Not all.
Not
of it?
all of it. They released a very healthy chunk of the Prince back catalog.
Okay.
But there's a lot of stuff that's not on there.
Really?
Yeah, Emancipation's not on there.
See, I didn't pay that close of attention. I was just
I browsed it.
excited.
Oh, absolutely. When I saw it was on there, I browsed it. Like a lot of his Warner Brothers, all the Warner Brothers catalog is
Okay.
on there, with the exception of the Black Album is not on there.
Really?
Come is not on there. So there's a few albums that didn't
Hmm.
make it. Now, it might be licensing. It might be just those were real weird limited releases by Prince that he didn't want.
Sure.
Like Minneapolis Sound is not on there. Lotus Flower is not on there. Prince and the Three-Eyed Girl, that one's on there. Hit and Run Parts Volumes 1 and 2 or Phase 1 and Phase 2. Dude, if you have a chance, listen to Hit and Run. They were
Okay.
the last 2 albums he recorded.
I think I actually saved it to my iTunes.
One
Yeah.
of them is, I think Volume 1 or Phase 1 is just Prince solo.
Oh,
And it's all like him doing Sign of the Time style, where he plays everything on the album.
wow.
And Phase 2 is with the New Power Generation. And they're both excellent fucking records.
Can you believe it's going to be a year?
Dude, no.
I still can't believe it.
No. I can't believe it's been a year since, Bowie died. It's been
God.
over a year since Bowie died.
Yeah.
And like we talked about previously, I'm not a Bowie fan.
Right.
But damn, it's
appreciate
crazy that
yeah.
he's gone.
Yeah.
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 And Lemmy's gone, too.
I
Damn,
know.
man.
I
That's
know.
fucked up. So,
Well, the good thing, well, not a good thing, but Lemmy, there are several bars out there. A Jack and Coke is now called the
the
Lemmy.
Lemmy. Nice. Who would win in a fight between Lemmy and God?
Lemmy.
Trick question. Lemmy is God.
Oh!
Haven't you ever seen Airheads?
It's been probably 12 years.
It's probably when it was
I just remember Kramer crawling through the fucking air shaft.
Kramer was in it? I don't recall him being in it at all.
That was the one with what's his name?
Adam
Brendan
Sandler.
Fraser.
Yes.
Brendan Fraser
Adam
and Adam Sandler and
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were the band.
That-
and
they-
they thought that they took over.
Dude,
the,
you're yelling, homeboy.
Yeah.
My levels are okay.
You're
It's not that
yelling.
You're
loud.
yelling.
Oh, sorry, it's not that loud in the headphones. But that was
Turn your
yeah.
headphones up, fucko.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
the that movie was they thought that the band took over and held hostage the radio station, right?
Right.
Yeah, and Kramer was a member of the Merchant Marines, and the
was he
police-
calling everybody the N-word?
No, unfortunately, no. But he was inside the radio station. He was like a lackey or like a nobody at the radio station, like a janitor or something. And the police got a hold of him, and the SWAT team got a hold of him. So they had him crawling through like the air vents, trying to see what's going on.
Good old Kramer. But so, left turn.
Yeah.
So I was catching up on some stuff. This past weekend was the 20th anniversary of Veruca Salt's 8 Arms to Hold You.
Really?
Yeah, dude. And
Holy shit.
so I downloaded the album. I haven't listened to it in a while. Dude, that album fucking holds up.
See, I just listened to it a few months ago, actually. I still love that album.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, 20 years, huh?
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'm part of the Veruca Salt page,
Right.
and they kicked off our post. They deleted it.
They're like,
Did they?
we gotta keep it Veruca Salt related.
Yeah, I had a feel. Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? You are fucking narrow scope bitches. Like, I understand, but you know what? How many people put up their shitty YouTube videos of them doing really god awful, out of tune?
Post in
Like-
the comments.
Yeah,
Share it in the comments somewhere. That's what I would do. Be like, we mentioned you on our fucking podcast. Now go listen and download the episode.
right. So, but they, but I was listening to it, and there's not like the first album, American Thighs, was a great record.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sludgery on that record, though. Like, there was a lot of
Define sludgery so people know what you mean.
well, yeah, I'll have to define it because I just said it. But there's a lot of songs on that album that get kind of slow and trudging. Like 25. 25 is a great song
Right.
on
but
American Thighs, but it's
very.
a slow song.
It plods along.
It
yeah.
just and it's very indicative of 1994 independent Chicago rock.
Right.
And while I love American Thighs, it's a fantastic record. And there's not a song on it that I don't like, but there are songs that, if I'm driving,
You're going to skip
I'm
past
going to skip
them.
past them.
Yeah.
Now, with 8 Arms to Hold You, there was, I want to say, One Last Time is like probably the one song on the album that at the beginning of it you're like, oh, well, do I want to really listen to this tune? But then it picks up. The album was produced by Bob Rock.
Really?
Yes, of shitty Metallica era fame.
Oh my god.
Like he was the rock producer and he produced that record. And he made it a fucking rock record. Like there wasn't a whole lot of fluff on that record.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
true. Interesting.
Yeah, and I think even on One Last Time, I think is the song where one of and Eli will kill me for this because it's he's like, "Fuck you, dude! You're taking all my fucking ideas." But
You should have been on the podcast, Eli.
No, he wouldn't say that. But it had there's a line in it, and I remember back in college, it was like Eli's line. It was called. She sings, "Euphoria has just been here, and she's looking terrible." Like that's like a fucking album track, like quote on that album. Like it's amazing, and like the closer for that album is called Earth Crosser, and it's one of these. It's very like slow and it's a slow plotting song, but it's one of those that fucking grips you, dude. Like there, and one of the last lyrics to the song is for a verse is, "It's 3 a.m. It's quiet again," and then she just belts out, "Where's my lip gloss?" Dude, it's amazing. We saw them like when they did their reunion tour because they broke up.
Oh god,
And
they were broken up. And Nina Gordon's solo album was not.
It wasn't good. It was a adult contemporary record.
Right. It wasn't good.
But then like Louise Post went off and recorded 2 more Veruca Salt records.
Right.
And a couple EPs, which I like to call angry Veruca Salt.
Yes.
They were very pissed off records. God damn, man, you got like producer Jake picked up some beer tonight from Odell's, and it's like the burpiest beer I've had in quite some time. But like,
I'm glad it's not the fartiest.
no, that was the Thai food I had earlier.
Yeah.
But they I totally lost my train of thought. So Earthcrosser.
You were talking about Louise's angry Veruca Salt album.
Right. And then prior to that, we were talking about Nina's
Nina's that's how we got started
shitty
on
solo
it.
out. Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to backtrack here. So, but it's just one of these. It's just a great album. And so they split up. They split up for 18 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was close to 20 because I remember all of that shit when they would talk about, oh my god, Veruca Salt broke up. Well,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The Veruca Salt and Faith No More broke up the same year. They both broke up in 97.
really?
Yeah. And like when Veruca Salt broke up, I was like, oh, damn, that sucks, man. You know,
Yeah.
just another casualty of Chicago. And still, to this day, they've never really said what happened between Nina and Louise.
I don't think they ever will.
No, they probably won't. Apparently, it had to do with a boy from rumors. And
That was what I had also heard.
you know, it had to do with a boy, and it had to do with, you know, just being wrapped up in things with drugs and alcohol, and you know, they'd always remained kind of fringe friends, and then they
Right.
finally like started talking again, and then like Louise brought her guitar over to Nina's house, and they started kind of jamming again, and then they finally said, fuck it, let's do this. And they released Ghost Notes 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was it was
Which-
2015. Yeah.
To me, is their best album.
It doesn't shock me to hear that though.
Well,
quite
it's
honestly.
also the album where, like, the 2 previous Veruca Salt albums, because it's kind of like Star Wars. Like, you know,
Disney.
after Disney bought it, they said, okay, anything that's not a movie or the Clone Wars TV show, anything prior to that is we're not acknowledging that as part of our universe.
Right.
Anything after we bought it is considered part of the universe.
Right.
So I kind of consider that same thing with Veruca Salt. Like, you got the 2 albums and the Blow It Out Your Ass EP, and everything after that was not.
Right.
Okay. So on those 2 previous albums and the EP, Nina would write a song, Louise would write a song.
Right.
They would bring it to the band, and that's how it would go out.
Right.
Well, on Ghost Notes was the first time ever that they collaborated and wrote songs together. And you can tell because the album is phenomenal. Like, it is the album that it should have been. You know, when you hear of other bands taking years and years, like taking
Like Smashing Pumpkins.
yeah. and
Chinese democracy.
yes, thank you. Chinese democracy is like number one. Like, and I don't care if Sebastian Bach comes out and says, "Oh man, Axl's got like 3 albums worth of stuff, and it's gonna be really good, man. Oh, this album is fucking killer." Yeah, I bought Chinese democracy. I wouldn't wipe my ass with that record. There's like 2 good songs on that record.
That's how I feel about anything of Smashing Pumpkins past Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, including Zwan, which was a terrible fucking
Side project. But I will say
Yeah.
this: Machina was good. Machina, the Machines of God was a great, solid comeback record for them. And then they fired Darcy, and James left the group, and then
And he had
Jimmy
a
left the
terrible
group,
solo
and then
career.
Jimmy came back to the group, and then Jimmy quit again, and then they came back again, and now apparently they're pondering doing a full-on reunion tour with the original lineup.
Well, so funny sidebar really quickly about Jimmy Chamberlain. He actually recorded an album with
Yeah, he did like a full-on jazz album or something.
with Frank Catalano. I'm friends with the guy.
Wait, the guy from My So-Called Life?
No,
No, that
you're
was Jordan
thinking
Catalano.
Jordan Catalano. Frank Catalano.
Goddamn Jared Leto.
He lives in New York now, but he was local to the Chicago area. I met him at my uncle's fucking wedding almost 20 years ago. He wanted to date me, and I knew he was a sax player, and so we kept in touch over the years, and now he's like this very renowned saxophone
Nice.
player. Yeah, very
I
talented.
remember when that album came out, I was working at Kiss the Sky at the time
Yeah.
because it was like right after he quit the band. He's like, all right, I'm going to do this thing.
Well, maybe not that far back. I'm talking about recently. He did something with
Really?
Frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did split from the band yet again and then came back. So
Right, but this was probably within the last 10
Jimmy,
years.
like, seriously, like Jimmy Chamberlain must be like the abused spouse because
At
like he's
this
like,
point,
fuck you, Billy,
yeah.
I'm done. All right, I'll come back.
Right,
Fuck you, Billy, I'm done.
Stroke
I'm
my hair a
coming
little
back.
bit, wipe away the blood from my face, and we'll be friends again. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
And but Zeitgeist was actually a pretty decent record.
I just
And that one was just Billy and Jimmy in the studio, much like the entire recording of Siamese Dream.
true.
Well, I don't want to say the entire recording because James Iha wrote he co-wrote Mayonnaise, which is one of my favorite Pumpkin songs
do
of
love that
all
song.
time.
I do love that song.
I've only heard him play it live once, and it was at Lollapalooza in '94.
Ah.
But yeah, other than that, it was just James and Billy in the studio. Billy recorded all the guitar and bass parts for that record.
Interesting.
For Siamese Dream. So they came back, they did Zeitgeist, which is a pretty solid record. And then they did Oceana, and then some weird record that wasn't very good. And now they're trying to get back together again.
I just feel like Billy Corgan is very self-absorbed. I know I have many.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I have many friends, local friends, who have had run-ins with him. Some people who have known him for a while. Sorry, Billy, if you're not listening, but
Oh, he will be. He'll find out that
he'll
his name's
fucking
been
find
mentioned.
out that somebody, and then he'll sue us.
Yeah.
But I don't. I feel like he's grasping at straws. I did hear that he's like a super huge wrestling guy. Like I did
Yeah.
not know that. He loves wrestling. He started a company or something
Here in
for
Chicago.
it.
He funds local wrestling.
Right, but this woman, JVO interviewed her, and I cannot remember for the life of me what her name is, but she worked with him at his company. So,
JVO, mind you, is James Van Osdale.
Oh, yeah,
he was
sorry.
a kind of a...
Hi, James.
He's the voice of
Q101.
Dana and my childhood.
Yeah.
Or our young adolescence and whatnot and beyond.
And just a super nice dude all around. Just a cool, talented guy.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry, we're kind of like winding around
This
here.
is just
which
how we roll.
This is how it goes. So
So they I was listening to... What did I say I was listening to? No.
Well, we started with Veruca Salt.
Veruca Salt. So I listened to that this week, and damn, that's just a stellar record. It's still a stellar record. And crazy story. So the night that the album came out, there was
which album?
8 Arms to Hold You.
Okay.
There was an in-store at Tower Records back on the north side of
Which
Chicago.
one? The one on
Clark.
The one that was like near the
2
lake,
stories.
Lincoln Park.
Yeah. So they did an in-store that night, and me, Eli, and our friend Jackie, but we went to go see them, and we waited outside in the cold. They ushered us in.
Oh.
They played live in the store. Oh man! They played a bunch of the old songs. They played a bunch of the new songs, and then for whatever reason, for the signing, they ushered everybody right the fuck back out of the store and made us stand in the cold. And we
Did
came.
they do like a lottery?
No, there was no lottery, but they're like, all right, everybody, get out, get in line, and get back in. So we hung out outside, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting. And we went through the line. They couldn't have been nicer. They stayed until every single person
That's cool.
got their shit signed. And it wasn't just like, oh, the store's closing at 10. No, they stayed until everybody got shit signed.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So we stayed and got our shit signed, and then out of nowhere comes this big homeless dude
Wesley Willis? No.
with, yeah.
Shut the fuck up, seriously?
Yes, with a garbage bag,
Get
and he
the
had his CD. He had
out.
his CDs in the bag.
Rock and roll McDonald's, bitch.
Dude.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yes, it was Wesley Willis, and I headbutted him. He was like, "Headbutt me, say rah," and I was like, "Rah."
Oh, get
Yeah,
out,
dude.
man.
And he was like, he was singing his Veruca salt. Veruca salt, Veruca salt. Veruca Salt is a band from Chicago. I can't remember the words to the song,
That's
but like,
amazing.
dude, but every Wesley Willis song was the same thing. He said the name of the band 14 times,
Yes.
and then like he just said the master of the super obvious shit about it. But-
Bless his soul, man.
and for
'cause
anybody who
he-
doesn't know, Wesley Willis was he's kind of a Chicago underground legend.
He really
had,
is. He was a schizophrenic man,
He
and-
was homeless.
I don't think that he was homeless the whole time.
Not the
though.
whole time, but he was homeless from time to time. He was
From
homeless.
time to time he was. I have a lot of friends who met him and interacted with him. Jello Biafra, actually, like, I don't know if he worked with Jello or not. I'm not sure exactly about that relationship, and I could be fucking that up completely. But yeah, Wesley Willis, I mean, he pretty much is a local,
He's a local legend
here. He
He's
really
like
is.
Ronnie Woo Woo at
the Cubs
the
games.
Cubs Stadium.
Yeah, he so Wesley Willis, he was also actually like a very good artist.
Yeah.
So he like you can find his stuff online. I highly recommend it. At least find his music because I know that that's still online
And he's got like
too.
150 albums.
Easily.
Each album is like 25,000 songs on it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
And it's all like just him and a Casio.
it is.
It's
That's what
wonderful.
I was gonna say. It was a little Casio. I still so that
I have
like,
one of his records here at the house.
Oh, the Casio that he has or had was like the same one that I still have sitting in my parents' closet at their house.
Yeah, it was like the one you get your like 12-year-old kid that's like,
Yes.
I want to learn piano.
that I learned
Sure
how
you
to
do.
play Chicago songs on and fucking
Right.
Bruce Springsteen songs when I was like 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got all our shit signed and we met Wesley
How
Willis and
cool.
it was fun, man. We had a good night
Killing
that
it,
night.
man.
Fuck it.
Wesley Willis. How cool
Yeah,
is
dude.
that?
And the crazy thing was like nobody knew who he was. But I had seen this thing on MTV not too long ago that he was at South by Southwest. It was
Yes.
like when MTV first started reporting about South by Southwest. And I'm like, hey, I know who this guy is.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, Wesley, what's up? He's like, headbutt my shit raw. Big Mac assassination. I was like, dude, this guy's fucking awesome. But yeah, that was my only ever interaction, ever seeing him ever, was it just randomly popping up at Tower Records
Man.
and like at this Veruca Salt like signing. It
How
was the
cool
craziest
is
shit.
that, though?
Yeah. And then so I listened to that. I listened to Beck.
Which album?
I listened to Odelay.
I love that. I
Dude.
was hoping you were going to say Odelay.
Well, what had happened was a couple days ago, I think it was Wednesday, because I was working at home. I popped on and I posted it on my Facebook page because Squirrel Nut Zipper's Hell was in my head.
yeah.
It was my earworm for the day. So I just let it play. I popped it up on YouTube and let it play. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, all these Beck songs started playing. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I got to listen to me some Beck. Dude.
that whole album, man.
Dude, Odelay is killer, dude.
And when did that come out? 96?
96.
It was 96 that came out. I own that album, and I listened to that album so many times that I'm surprised that I say
tape
album,
didn't
but I'm
snap.
surprised that the CD still functions at this point. It is probably I always want to say it's in my top 10. It's not. It's definitely in my top 20 though, for sure.
Also produced by the Dust Brothers, who produced the Beastie Boys' Paul's
Nice.
Boutique.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it's an incredible record.
Have you ever seen Beck live? I saw him live twice.
I've seen him only once, and it was at Q101's Jamboree 1997. And I had a backstage pass
Nice.
because I bought it from one of Social Distortion's roadies for $20.
Social D.
They were playing on the second stage, and they're like, well, we just played. We're not hanging around. Fuck you guys. So, like, the roadie was just like, look, we got these. I'm like, how much? $20. Here you go. Bam. And it was a laminate.
Get the fuck out, man.
It's around here somewhere.
Did you get to meet Beck?
No.
Damn it.
But he walked as close to me as I am to you.
Really?
Yeah, like
and
I
that's
was
probably like 3 feet.
Yeah,
just,
and I'm
for
for reference. So I'm standing there, and he's getting ready. Like his whole entourage came out on stage, and that's when they were wearing the horse head masks and all that stuff.
Was his wife with him too?
I don't
Giovanni Ribisi's sister?
Was she the retarded girl in that one movie?
No, she was.
Oh wait, no,
in-
that was Juliette Lewis.
Yes, you're thinking of the other sister. She was the big red-haired girl in Dazed and Confused.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's Giovanni Ribisi's sister.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, no, not his wife, ex-wife at this point.
Oh, are they?
Oh yeah, they divorced. That's what the album Sea Change was all about.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
at the time they were married.
When he walked by, did you tip your hat like this? And
No.
yell, Emilio!
That's hilarious. No, he walked by and I was like, "Hey, Beck," and he was just like, meh. Like he was like so zoned in on the performance
I'm sure.
that like it was just like he just like breezed right past me. So that was as close as I got to meeting Beck.
The last time I saw him was at Pitchfork, and that was back in 2015, I think. Yeah, it was 2014, whatever. And he put on a killer fucking.
Dude, he's great.
performance.
He's amazing live.
He is
absolutely
fantastic
amazing
live.
And because he was on the Odelay tour, and it was right before Midnight Vultures came out.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, Midnight Vultures is the album.
Really?
Dude, have you listened to that recently, or have you heard it?
I have not listened to it in years.
Midnight Vultures is the album that Prince never recorded. Yeah,
Okay.
dude, it's you want to get naked to that album.
Like I said, it's been a minute since I've listened to that album, and it's,
Yeah.
you know.
So, and then I was kind of doing a little Beck research just to check it out. There was a 7-year gap between albums.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that. He did like one-off songs for movie soundtracks
movies
and
and
stuff
stuff,
like
yep.
that. He did some production work, but he didn't put out an album between like 2007 and 2015.
That's what I was going to say. It was like 2007. That was, yeah.
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 So it was nuts. So that it was kind of crazy that's what, you know, I was like, oh man, damn, I haven't listened to Beck in a while. So I was like, all right, I'll listen to it. Because like I can't listen to Sea Change. I'm sorry. The album is a beautiful record.
It is a beautiful album.
But it's also like I want to run my arms under some hot water and take a knife to them. Same thing with this, like the newest album that he put out, the last one, I don't remember what it's called, Morning
haven't
Sun
heard
Hope
it.
thing. It's very Sea Change-esque. It's very like low key, very acoustic, kind of navel gazing.
Which I actually do like his acoustic stuff.
No, and I do appreciate it, but I also like Beck that like sings about a bunch of nonsensical shit.
And
You know,
rocks out, yeah.
you know, that's the Beck that I enjoy. I appreciate everything that he does, but that's the Beck that I enjoy is him being like, you know,
Quirky.
yeah. There's a time with chimpanzees. There was a monkey. You know what? Okay.
Butane in my
Veins in a
I'm
mouth
about
to cut the junkie.
With a plastic eyeball.
All right, stop, or we're gonna get sued.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, so I listened to that, and then I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Brian Villancourt
Thank you. I was hoping
from
that we were gonna do that.
from the GARMY Strong. We are. He actually recommended an album to me today by a group called the Dead Deads,
I didn't listen to it yet.
and I listened to their newest record, and dude, it's pretty badass. It sounds like if Black Sabbath was filtered through L7, and then that band had sex with the Donnas
Oh,
and
the
put out a record.
Donnas.
Yeah. Like their first song sounds like Children of the Damned.
Wow.
Yeah. Like dun 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 dun.
Wow.
And then there's like a song on it called Murder Ballad that is like totally like almost sounds like a throwback to old 50s like
Doo-wop.
ish. Yeah. Like it kind of goes all over the place. It's a killer record, man.
I have it, like I saved it to my iTunes, so I can
Yeah.
I will definitely check that out.
And then
for
I
sure.
called Mike at Kiss the Sky today to see if they could order it, and they're like, "Yeah, we'd love to get it for you, but you could probably get it direct from the band cheaper." I was
Sure.
like, "Right on, man. Thanks for being
Yeah, thanks for
honest.
being
Usually,
honest, yeah.
you know, Mike's a whore about shit. He'll be like, "All right, yeah, fuck it. It's $23.50." You know, especially to me because he knows I'll pay it.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so that's kind of what I've been kind of consuming this week. A lot
You
of
had
comic
a way
books.
better week than I did.
Yeah, I've had a lot of downtime between appointments and stuff like that, and I've had a lot of back and forth time between my house and Batavia. Or not, I'm sorry, my house in DeKalb, which is like an hour drive each way.
Oh, jeez.
You know,
Okay.
I went to DeKalb twice yesterday. Ooh. Yeah, so
Wow.
no doubt. So yeah, so that was it's given me a lot of time, and like, you know, I still slip in the podcast that I listen to here and there, like, but I was like, man, I need to listen to some music.
I feel you, man.
Oh, what was I listening to? I was listening to Light Grenades today by Incubus, which is probably the last good record Incubus put out.
One of their best. I
It's
absolutely
a
love
good
that album.
record. It's a phenomenal record.
I just never got into them.
You know what? Here's the thing. Incubus kind of like they evolved so much over the course of their career. So if you start with like Fungus Among Us and Science, it almost sounds like a cross between Korn and Mr. Bungle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then they went to Make Yourself, which kind of evolved their sound a little bit, but they still had those elements of like that Korn sound to it. And then they came out with Morning View, which Morning View makes me cry in my pants. Like, I love the Morning View record. For me, there's a lot of like emotional travel ties for me with the Morning View record. When that came out, I actually had it on disc, and I was walking around Amsterdam, and at like, oh geez, probably 9 o'clock in the morning, I checked out of my hostel to catch the train to go to Berlin, and I'm walking around downtown Amsterdam, just walking around. I may or may not have been high, and but
we may or may not advocate drug use.
It's Amsterdam. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
handle your fucking high. But so it's like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, a very brisk, cool morning, beautiful, like bright blue skies, and I'm walking around with this in my Discman, and I'm weeping listening to this record.
Wow.
Because it was just one of those things that it was just an emotional response, and maybe it was like emotional because I was there by myself.
Sure.
It was a solo trip for me. Like, I went to Europe to go visit a friend of mine, but I only stayed with my friend Jill for a week, and then I was out on my own. You know, because she was like, I'm not letting you come to Europe and spending 2 weeks in Spain. You're going to go do stuff. Not only that, I have to work.
Right.
So, yeah, and I'm like walking around, and I learned what a squatter was at that point, because there were like these Danish cops that were trying to but there was like these Danish cops, and all of a sudden I see all these like yellow paint canisters that have exploded everywhere, and there was some squatters up in one of these buildings, and they were trying to evict the squatters out of the building,
jeez.
and the squatters, I think, were throwing paint bombs at them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. So yeah, I started listening to like Nice to Know You, like, and just walking around.
What year was that again when that album came out?
I think the album
Was it
came out.
2000?
I think the album came out in 01, and I listened to it and my trip was in like 02, early 02, I want to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
we figured this out because I was still stationed in Germany when you were there.
Yeah.
And it was 02. I was still there all through the entire year of 02. I left in December of 02, so.
Yeah. So it was just one of those beautiful records, like, for me, that it will always hold an amazing place in my heart. Yeah, Morning View came out in 2001. So yeah, it was
It was our last year in college.
yeah, because I had gone to Europe after 9/11.
Yeah, because we graduated right after 9/11.
Yeah. So it was just one of those. It was one of the CDs that I carried with me. It was like that, Jack Johnson, and 1400 Fish CDs. Because the MP3 play. Man, you didn't realize how like light my trip would have been if the iPhone or the iPod had been invented by that point.
You were 4 year, like you were, well, 3
there were-
years.
2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
There were MP3 players, but they were expensive and nobody had them.
Right. So, but yeah, I listened to that, and then I listened to a little bit of A Crow Left of the Murder. Oh, dude, Crow Left of the Murder. I got that on vinyl, son. But Crow Left of the Murder is an incredible album. Like,
Is that an Incubus?
it's an Incubus album.
Okay.
Yes, it's the album that they put out after Morning View. So I listened to a little bit of that, and that album, goddamn, that album kicks my ass every time I listen to it. Because it's not like, it's just Incubus just had this thing going for him for like 3 albums. And then like they put out what was the last album? If Not Now, When? And I listened to a little bit of that today. I'm like, oh, this is fucking boring. What happened to you guys? And then they've got a new album because they're touring with Jimmy Eat World now this summer.
That's
It's an interesting combination.
lineup.
Yeah.
Although Jimmy Eat World, in my opinion, kind of sold out a while ago. Whatever.
How could they have sold out? They're not the they did the middle. They did the Bleed American album. And then what happened to them?
I meant before that because they had stuff before that.
I understand, but like the sellout album would have been Bleed
Middle.
American.
Really?
Bleed American. The middle was on Bleed American.
Okay.
That was like their major, like, hey, this is our MTV album. But they released albums after that, and nobody gave a flying fuck. So yeah, they may have like sold out. Look,
Right.
if I was in a band, I would sell out for one album to make that money, and then I would just go back and do whatever I wanted after that.
I mean, I guess, man, I have a different opinion on it just because I have a lot of friends who are artists and nationally touring artists and stuff. You know
It's
what I mean?
understandable,
Like,
but like you got look.
you got to make money. I get it.
Yeah, look. I have respect for bands that just want to sweat it out and do it, But look, anytime you put anything out, it's a commodity at that point.
Well, and I think it's a lot different now too than artists now. In my opinion, I mean, you're going to get some people who are going to get signed to a major label, right? But I feel like a lot more artists these days, it's a DIY effort.
Well, it
Start
has
your
to
own
be.
label.
It has to be because
In this day of technology,
No, in this day,
yeah.
because not only that, the entire record industry is fucked.
They're whores, yeah.
No, it's not even the fact that they're whores. They're still stuck in like 1989 times,
Right.
But they're still stuck like way back in the Ice Age,
Right.
about things, and like they realize they don't realize that you can sign a band, but you're not going to make any money off of their albums.
No.
So now they're cutting into their bands
Right.
touring.
Into the touring profits.
Not only their touring, their merch.
Which doesn't surprise me though to hear that. It really doesn't surprise me. That's why I don't know. I'm
Well, that's why I look at Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were with Elektra Records for like 30 years.
right.
This last album they put out, the Hardwired to Self-Destruct, the double CD, they put that out on their own record label.
Rachel,
And they've gone like double, triple, quadruple platinum at this point, I'm sure.
I mean, Rachel hasn't, but she has a lot of accolades, and she has a lot of cool. She started her own label 6 years ago, I think, and she was on the major labels.
Right.
Like, she got signed from being in a local Chicago band into a major label, and that's just the thing. Like,
That had
I
been like
think-
one of those like really hard situations for her.
I'm sure it was
Because it's like, hey, we like you, not them.
well, and that.
Kind of like that whole like
Yeah.
the whole
Josie and the Pussycats.
Almost Famous.
Yep.
Like, hey, you're the front man.
Right.
Hey, well, look, like the whole Jimmy Fallon thing in Almost Famous, where he comes in, he's like, look, we know you're the real talent behind
Right.
this band. You guys don't need these guys. You can roll solo and make so much more money after that.
Right.
I couldn't imagine being put in that situation, but then again, I'm not fucking talented that way either. So
Well, here's the thing too. Look what we're doing right here. How much did this set you back?
nothing. My wife bought the shit for me for
Exactly.
Christmas. Maybe $35 for a
So-
mic.
Okay, so you look at we're probably maybe $100 in. Throw another $500 into that. You've got a full-on recording studio just as good to record digitally as everyone else has. The expensive stuff back in the day was the analog.
Yeah.
And nobody records analog anymore, and they haven't since about the mid to late 90s.
Fighters do.
That's
Right.
another story altogether, and that is a subject for a later
Another
podcast.
So we should actually probably get to like the heart
our
of,
subject, yeah.
of what we're going to talk about today too. I kind of switched things up this week, and we did have album assignments,
And
but
there's still assignments, but we've been fucking busy, so get off our dicks about it.
they are, and I think maybe we kind of jive a couple episodes to whatever. Anyway, the point of this week is I told Reuben I wanted to talk about This Is Us.
Oh, I blow that show.
Somebody, what did one of your friends say today that you talked him up so much? What did he say though? The exact words, because I pissed myself laughing
I'll look it up.
when I read that at work. And you know what? We talk up the show. Reuben probably a little bit more so than myself. but we talk it up because it's fucking amazing. That show, it's brilliantly written.
It's I call it a master thesis on great television
It
writing.
really is. And
This is a show that Will Anderson, I think, could appreciate the writing on the show.
well, and here's my thing. I think that this show,
Will
It's
Anderson
going to
was one of our professors in college.
right? I think this show is going to stand the test of time too. And I was reading an article today, and it said that they got signed on for 2 additional
more
seasons,
seasons.
which is fantastic. So, for those of you who are not familiar with This Is Us, watch it. First of all, is my first recommendation. Watch the damn show.
We may actually roll into some spoiler territory here.
Well, then turn the shit off right now,
Right.
peeps, if you don't want to hear it.
Yes,
but
actually, it was Brian Valancourt. He said, "Yeah, you suck that show's dick
that's it.
hard."
Yes, and we do. And the show, the whole
And
premise,
I used 2 hands when I was doing it too.
and you deep throated it. The premise of the show, for those of you who are not familiar, this show it's about a family, right? It sounds pretty
Well,
generic.
that's the craziest thing, though. It was like for the pilot episode, and if you haven't watched the pilot episode by this,
need
shame the fuck
to.
on you. Okay, so the pilot episode was it will get your hooks into you. It was 3 parallel stories. So it was like this Rebecca and Jack's story, and then it was Randall and Kate's story. Or no, I'm sorry, Kate and Justin's story, and Randall's story with his family. And it all centered around their 36th birthday. And as the show progresses, like, the Jack and Randall, the Rebecca and Jack story goes so far, you find out that she's pregnant, she's got triplets,
right?
and then Kate and Justin. Was it Kate and Justin?
Justin, who's Justin?
No. Who's the brother?
Kevin?
Kevin. Okay, so I'm sorry, I've got my notes mixed up here. So yeah, so Kate and Kevin, like, they're brother and sister. Kate's kind of his personal assistant. He's an actor on this like daytime or
The
like
Manny.
The Manny. It's like this schlocky sitcom comedy. And then you got Randall, who's in the business world with his family, and they're all kind of, the stories are kind of progressing. No real connection whatsoever. And you're like, what the fuck is this all about? It's like these 3 independent storylines, and then like it all comes together at the end.
And and I'm sorry to cut you off. The way that they weaved these stories together
Oh my God, it was
it was
masterful.
flawless. And so, like Reuben said, the pilot, you've got all these 3 separate stories, but at the same time, you don't find this out until the end of the episode, but at the same time, it's talking about this couple who are pregnant and they're going to have triplets. And I kind of made the connection probably about halfway through the episode before seeing the ending. But you find out that the 3 people that the episode started to focus on were actually the quote unquote triplets.
Yeah, so you find out that like Rebecca has these triplets. One of them dies in childbirth.
Right.
Now I failed to mention that Randall's black.
Right. Well,
And-
I'm glad that you didn't mention that yet.
So Randall's black, and during the episode, you realize at the very end of it that Rebecca loses one of the babies in childbirth, and Jack's standing there like back in the day where they used to have the big window and dads would look at their babies, and he's looking at at the 2 that lived. He was looking at Kevin and Kate, and I'm just looking to make sure I got the names right.
It's okay. I know. I'm like, I'll help you out, son.
So he's looking at them, and he's like, "Yeah, those are my 2." And there's like a EMT.
It was it was a firefighter.
Firefighter sitting next to him. He's like, "Was one of these yours?" He's like, "No, but this one here was dropped off at the fire station this morning, and it was Randall."
Well, and the funny thing is that you don't quite. I don't think you find that out until
No.
the second episode.
No, you do.
Oh no, you do that day.
And the
that's
craziest
right.
thing was, like, wardrobe and the way that they was filmed, you would have never realized the entire Rebecca and Jack storyline
Took place in the 70s.
36 years ago.
And
like, he just looked like a hipster dude, and she just dressed like a chick that would dress today. Like,
Right.
And they didn't change the cinematography at all,
No.
so the lighting was not the different.
but when they panned out on the very last scene of that very first episode, that's when you see they're smoking in the fucking.
And I didn't even catch that.
I did, and I was like,
I'm not a smoker, though, so I didn't even think twice about it.
well, see, when I saw that, I was like, Oh, and that's I mean, I kind of it had clicked before that, but then that was like the smack in the face, like, holy shit, okay, this is completely like 36 years ago when this happened, when this is supposed to have happened. I don't want to necessarily go through every episode, but I think
we'll breeze through
we
it.
want to talk, because
And the crazy thing is that this is one of those TV shows that you will weep.
yeah,
Like as
I've
a
cried every single episode. And we're
as
what,
a-
15 or 16 in?
this was like I think the 16th episode this last week.
Yeah.
Or the 15th or the 16th episode this last week. And for me as like a new father for the second time, like when they said that baby died, I was like dude, it was like I got punched in the gut because my wife hadn't had our second child yet. And I'm like, oh! Like, and I'm just like, I'm sitting here in tears. My wife is sitting there in tears.
Aw.
Like, it was like both of us were just like, whoa, what?
Yeah, see, I didn't watch it in real time until you kept telling me about it. And finally I was like, fuck, okay, fine. I will fucking watch this show. And I binged watched all the first 10 episodes before the break.
Yeah.
But yeah, before the break, like before it resumed.
Mid-season break.
And I, in like a day and a half, and I just sat there and I'm like, fuck. Yeah.
You're hooked.
Totally hooked.
And
I was
it's
really
one of those
hooked after
too where
the
there's
first
like
episode,
and that
though.
twist at the end, man, that was like the sixth sense of television.
I agree.
Like, it was like, oh my God, they're all connected. Everything's connected here. I finally, like, within the last 5 minutes of the show, not even that, I think it's like the last, like,
It was like the last
2
minute
minutes
or two.
of the show, you realize how everything is connected here. And it's
like I said, it smacks you in the face, and
Yeah.
that's what it was.
yeah, and then you cry harder.
I don't know if you've read anything about, because another spoiler alert, Jack is gonna die. Like,
At some point, yes.
he's dead. At this point in like real time, quote unquote, he's dead. From the articles that I was reading today, they were saying that we will soon find out that he's dead. My prediction is next week. It might be the week after, but you won't find out how he died because they're going to weave it through a few episodes.
But they've already said that he was dead. In one of
They
the past
have.
episodes, they flashed to the funeral.
They did. I remember that. Yes, they did.
It was like 2
flash,
episodes ago.
and they were teenagers when that happened.
Yes.
but I mean, like, they will show, maybe not show his death, but it will be made clear that he is dead now.
Yeah.
And with Kate's issues and all this other shit.
So
oh,
now
God, this
Kate
week.
is morbidly obese.
Yes.
And Kevin is svelte, good-looking, handsome dude,
Mm-hmm. Kate's
six-pack.
beautiful too.
She's a beautiful
but yeah,
woman,
but
she's a big girl,
she's-
like
yes.
horrifically big. Like you worry about her health.
and Toby is not a fat man in real life.
No. So Toby is another actor that plays her significant
Fiancé
boyfriend
now.
at this point. Yeah, his fiance, and she meets him like the second episode, I think, or third episode.
I think so. And by the way, did you know he was in Stranger Things?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I know who he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's not a fat guy. Like, he's a big dude.
He's a tall, stocky dude, but not heavy
He's
at
not
all.
heavy set. So
He's got a prosthetic, like, double chin that he
Yeah.
wears, which was fucked up when I heard that.
right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So just to let everybody knows, Rebecca is actually played by Mandy Moore.
Who I love. Can I just please?
You
for
can
a
wash your
minute?
balls. This is a ball washer episode.
I love Mandy Moore. I don't give a shit about her teeny bopper stuff. Even when she came out with her teeny bopper music, I knew she was talented because the girl can sing. She is fucking talented.
And they actually do a lot. Gave her a couple opportunities to sing in this show, which
They
is kind of
do,
cool.
Which I think I do. I
She's
think
got a good voice.
She's got a fantastic voice, and I think.
Well,
plus
you're
she-
also a Ryan Adams fan,
Oh,
and
I
she
was
was
just gonna
married to him
say,
for a while. And didn't they do an album
few
together?
years.
Or they
I
did a couple songs together, I
don't
think.
think that they did an album together. Perhaps they did some tracks together. I mean, I didn't follow their marriage like that closely.
The fuck?
Yeah, I know, because I'm a dick. But she's just phenomenal, and she's a great actress though too. So to her own right, she can do both things. So kind of like a Justin Timberlake in that regard.
You know,
right?
and you know what I appreciate about her? She's got fucked up teeth like Jewel did, and she
She
hasn't
does.
hasn't gotten them fixed like Jewel did.
You know what's funny? No, Jewel still has a snaggletooth.
Yeah, well,
Did you watch the roast of Rob Lowe?
oh, I did watch that.
Yeah, she still got the fucked up snaggletooth, but I never noticed that with Mandy Moore until
Until
this
this show.
and I was like, Girl, thank you.
Yeah, and Jack is actually played by Milo Ventimiglia.
He was on Heroes.
He was
or
on
something?
Heroes. He was
Yeah.
on the
Peter
Gil-
Petrelli.
Yeah, he was Peter Petrelli. He was also in Gilmore Girls.
See, I never got into Gilmore Girls.
I only
so
watched
I'm
that
like,
because
meh.
well, you know what?
I was a Felicity girl, still am.
You know what? I may have to turn in my man card for this, but the Gilmore Girls was actually a really good show. Kirsten watched it while she was home. My wife watched it while she was home for maternity leave.
No shit.
So I was watching episodes of it, and actually, it's one of these really well-read shows. The dialogue in that show is written like a Tarantino film,
See, it's
without all the fuck shits and n-words.
but here's so we're going on a little sidebar. That is the era of the great WB shows. That's
I would say that right now is a good resurgence.
yes, but I'm saying when the Gilmore Girls like first came
Right.
out, that was part of that whole era when they had really good programming. Then it changed to the CW, and now it's whatever the fuck it is again.
It might as well be the DC network.
The
The DC Comics Network, which is great. I'll
Right.
take it.
But anyway, so sidebar.
he plays the dad, and like he's just like the ideal dad.
Yes,
Like he is like such a good guy, and the only setback that he has is he's a drinker,
right.
and he
But he quit.
he
for a
quit
while.
for a while until this last episode.
Yes. Well, oh, did you hear my heart break? No, because you hadn't watched it yet.
No.
My heart fucking shattered. I saw that. I'm like, Jack, no.
Yeah.
Put it down.
You noticed what he was drinking?
Yeah.
Makers on Ice.
Yeah.
Oh, love me some Makers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's in it, and he's great. Like seriously, and
I love him.
as the series goes on, like you can kind of see how Randall, who's played by Sterling K. Brown,
Oh, Randall.
like honestly, I think that Randall is trying to be his dad so
I
hard.
think so too, but that's what
Like
causes
he's trying
his
to
issues.
Yeah, he's trying to be the perfect father, the perfect man. And
He's trying to be the glue that holds everything together is what I like to say. I'm sorry, Jake. He's the glue. He is trying to be the glue that holds everything together. Work, family, his father's illness, his
in this,
own shit.
This previous episode, you find out that while his wife was pregnant with the first baby, he threw himself into
he like went temporarily blind.
he went temporarily blind, and they said that he had
A
a
nervous
breakdown.
Yeah.
And oh man,
Well, here I haven't watched every episode yet.
the fuck's wrong with you, Jake?
But
That's
I did
what I'm
watch-
saying.
I did watch the last episode, and
In between looking at your phone.
yeah, that too. But the thing that caught my attention about that character was
Randall, right?
yes,
Okay.
Randall. It wasn't anything new because they flash back to when he was a child or in maybe high school.
He was writing a
High school.
paper.
and
yeah.
he was writing a paper and he had a complete nervous breakdown then.
Yeah,
And it's he's trying to hold himself to a higher standard, and it's
But
I
fuck
feel like
everything
he
else.
thinks he's the outcast too.
yeah.
So
you know
I
what? I
think
wonder.
there's
Exactly.
I
those
wonder
issues.
if that's what it is, because like he's the black kid growing up in a white family.
And
the
you
black
saw,
sheep, lack of a better term.
Well,
Yeah.
and you saw how he and Kevin over these episodes they talk about the childhood.
They've been
butted fucking
separated.
heads. Yeah, like they hated each other for
Yeah.
a while. Maybe not so much Randall as much Kevin had resentment because I think it was the whole attention thing,
Sibling rivalry on top of that, yeah.
totally. And that's a really good summation, Jake, because exactly it's sibling rivalry shit. They were both on football teams, but for different
schools.
Yeah,
and
for
that
different
one
schools.
episode where they were playing against each other, that was a great episode.
Yes.
But it's one of those two where like I think that like he feels that he has to be above. Like
yes.
he can't. He has to be exactly like not exactly like his father, but I think he feels that he has to hold those same values that Jack held.
What was
that-
the line you texted me tonight
Oh, God.
about? This relates to Kevin, but I think that this also relates to Randall in this sense. I'm asking you to read it.
You
because-
are Jack Pearson's son.
Thank you. Exactly.
So I've got a little something to add here, just sort of a little epiphany I just had, and yeah, I know I just popped on the mic, but
You have been all night. It's
I know.
fine.
No pop shots, dude. Seriously,
well,
I don't
you
want to
haven't
clean up
been
the basement.
Hearing it in the cans, so but no, when you look at it, the big picture, it's yes, he feels he has a lot more to work up to, and if you look at the political state, and I'm not trying to get political here, but if you look at the political state of our country right now, it's a metaphor for what's going on for people like him.
Of color.
Yeah, people of color having to work that much harder and put that much more effort.
Which is
toward-
interesting because in the last 2 or 3 episodes, they've brought in an Indian character
Yes.
who is working in the same office that Randall does, and those two are like
It's
Randall's like-
competitive.
it's
complete
very competitive.
metaphor though, so it's outsourcing in general.
No, I don't think.
No,
I
because
don't
it's
think
not
I'd
like
go
they're
that
sending.
far.
Yeah, they're not sending. He's not in from India, but
But-
he's of Indian descent.
Metaphorically speaking,
But
that's
it's-
all I'm saying.
Ish, but like it's more that like Randall's got a lot on his plate,
Right.
and I think his employers recognize that, and they're trying to give
They're
him
trying
a
to
little
help
bit
him
of a
out,
relief,
cut him some
but
slack.
they're
yeah.
not telling him that.
I noticed
Yep.
that too. That's I'm
They're
glad
just
you
like,
brought
hey,
that
we're
up.
gonna bring him in. He's gonna give you a hand. Well, why? I can do this.
Right.
Well, no, because you're not fucking Superman. You can't do
And
everything.
Here's the problem, and even from my own personal life, I can say this myself. That happens, and you know what? That
Use your words.
he's very
Jake.
prideful,
Yeah, there's a lot of
and
pride there.
he is a very self-sufficient, strong person, and he doesn't necessarily like the idea, even though it's something he really needs. He knows he needs it. He's not going to ask for it, and he's going to take it as an affront personally that it's even happening.
But see, that reminds me of my current situation right now, like with my dad, fucking having a quadruple bypass. Like, you kind of pointed it out to me, Jake. I mean, I know it's personal, but like it relates to the show in that sense where I feel I can do it all and I can take it all on. And I have been to a fault.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
That's why I relate to Randall's character a lot, because that's how I
Well,
have
you're also
always
at that
been.
point in time in your life right now as well. Like you're
Well,
in the midst of kind of that.
Completely. But again, also, right, like I know this is fiction, but even seeing bits of like his childhood and growing up, I can relate to that because I have always been that person. Self-reliant.
Same here.
Always, like completely self-reliant. No matter what shitty things happen to me in my life, like, and everybody has life happen to them, right? And some people a little bit different than others, but I haven't tried to depend on other people. I can't. I don't know how that works.
Here's a like a little side bit of trivia.
Sidebar.
Episode 4, where the kids go to the pool.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Okay, so you know how Randall
fucking
ends up
heartbroken.
ends up hanging out with a bunch of the black kids at the pool. The woman who was the mom that was talking to Rebecca,
Yeah.
that's Randall's
this.
wife in real life.
Really?
Yeah, it's here on IMDb. Ryan Michelle Baith, who played the black mom at the pool, is married to Sterling Kane Brown, Randall.
No shit.
Yeah. They both also acted in the show Army Wives.
Wait, so I need you to look up. It was Marla Gibbs last week, right?
Marla Gibbs.
Remember the African American woman
You
in the
remember?
restaurant with
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, from what you call it?
from the Jeffersons
yes,
in 227, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I just that
Yeah, it was
popped into my
Marla.
head.
It was Marla Gibbs.
God, I'm good.
Yeah, and just as we were talking about that on the aborted
yeah.
Steve episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Randall I think has become kind of almost for you and I both, and Jake's peripherally, kind of our favorite character on the show. Like my heart breaks for that kid because he's so trying hard. He tries so hard to be like the perfect dad, and maybe I'm looking at it that way because like I see my shortcomings as a father.
Sure.
And I'm trying so hard not to be a dick to my kids. And just trying not to be what my family has set me up for.
I get that. I think for me, and I told you this from the start when I started watching, I hated Kevin's character at first. I thought he was such a pompous dick.
And we'll get to Kevin here shortly.
We will, but I have to tell you, like you said, Randall's your favorite character. I think it's a tie between him and Kevin for
Kevin's
me.
growing into his character.
That's the thing. That's my point. Like the growth that you see in his character, but you also see hints back to his childhood. So you see the way that he was set up to become this person that he was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you see this progression, and especially this past week. Oh,
We'll get to that in a second.
yeah.
All
but
right.
it's
Can we
so-
let's put a pin in this real quick.
All right,
I gotta take a piss.
You take a piss. I'm gonna say one thing and then we can pause out. So my thought is, Randall is he is very much a metaphor for the struggles all of us see in life. I don't know if you can agree with me on that, but
I think that that's a good way to put it, because I think you see this man who his beginnings in life were fighting. You know what I'm saying? And when I say fighting, in the sense where he was abandoned, right? Like his father, you find out the reasons why that happened, but his father abandoned him at a firehouse as a child. And then the struggles that he faced growing up as an African-American child in an all-white family. And then growing into this adult, yeah, I think that that's a really good summation.
because I've gone through my personal struggles. Dana, I know you've gone through your personal struggles. Reuben has gone through his personal struggles, and we all can relate to that negative side of it, and the trying to persevere and trying to be the better person and strong arm our way through it. And it's not always easy. And he shows that you don't, if you try to strong arm your way through
Sometimes you
every
need
single
help.
hard time thing. Well, okay, that was if you try and struggle through every hard part of your life on your own and you try and strong arm your way through it, it's gonna lead to issues.
It's going
further
to
down the
affect
road.
Might I
you.
just kind of point out here that I find it quite interesting that we three white folks, middle class suburban white folks, are trying to break down the black experience of this character.
I'm not, and
I don't
I'm
think
by
it's
no
so much
means
about
doing that.
It's talking about it.
Personal
We're
struggles.
removing.
No, I know.
I mean, at first, yes, I did mention, how he was abandoned as a child, but for me, I don't think that race entered into it. It was just the way that he was. I get where you're coming from, though,
Right.
and that's a very interesting comment. But I think you see all the different layers of this character. But
It's like an onion,
yeah,
donkey.
yeah.
So on a personal note here, and I'll kind of divulge a little bit of information about myself here. I'm just going to say I struggled. And while I don't understand his personal struggle, I see my own struggles.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about this
in
program
this
is that
character.
You can see you can plug yourself into any one of these particular characters.
Yes.
Like with Kate. So let's get off Randall. Not let's get off Randall. Let's get off Randall.
We're not
As
going
he
to
does the little hand jive motion there.
We're not
I'm
going to
gonna
make
leave it
him
at that.
cry in his pants.
Right.
Randall.
So Kate has. We haven't gotten to the root of Kate yet.
You see glimpses like when she's at the fat camp and she finally lets go.
The drumstick
The
scene. Oh my god, I
drumsticks.
cried during that scene.
I cried too because
Now-
she's finally starting to let things go. And then when she was talking to Toby this last week,
Yeah. She still can't talk about her
she's
dad's death.
right there
She's
though.
there. Now, you see her, they grow up as little kids, and she starts
She was always a
always
obese
a little
kid.
well, I mean,
Maybe not obese.
Obese, because when they were teenagers, she was a little heavy, but she wasn't she wasn't obese like she is
No.
now. She's played by an actress named Chrissy Metz.
I love her so much.
Did you realize she was in American Horror Story?
Which one?
Freak Show. She was the fat lady.
Get the fuck out! Are you
Shut
kidding
the front
me?
door. No, she was the fat lady. Yeah, which her name was I'm a Jiggles.
I'm gonna have to look back at that. Get out of town.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, she was on American Horror Story. She was on the Freak Show season.
She was ready to give up on acting before she got this role.
I did not know that.
Because I saw an interview with her, and she was talking about that she was always just typecast as the
Big
fat girl. Yeah. And so she was ready to give up on acting, and then she got this part.
Well, what I also read on either some blog or on IMDb or something, but she took the role to show the progress of her journey.
Her journey. No
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So,
And I
but
gotta
she-
fucking give her props, man, because
Yeah, she's for one, she's an amazing actress.
Yes.
She's great. and her story arc has been pretty amazing too. Like she was just this sad case. She was kind of she lived in her brother's shadow.
That's what you took the words out of my mouth. She really was the kid.
She
behind
lived in
both of their shadows.
Yeah,
really.
but she really lived in Kevin's shadow.
Totally.
In adulthood.
And the party scene though as kids.
Well, even the party scene as adults.
Well, right, a good.
But the party,
contrast,
the party episode killed me.
Yes, as the
Especially
little kids.
Well,
yeah,
for her and for Randall. Like Randall, so they sent Randall off to a private school because he was way fucking smart.
but I feel like he adapted better than she did because he expected it. He didn't want the big hoopla.
Yeah, because so basically that was like their 10th birthday or something like that.
10th or 11th.
And they were like, okay, well, each kid wants to have their own birthday
Their
party
own
instead of
themed party,
yeah,
right.
And they kind of were pushing it on Randall. Randall's like, nobody's gonna come. That's just I
And
just
he
don't really
accepted
have
it.
friends. I'm cool with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, can I have a magician? Oh,
Right.
sure. And then like Kevin had his Princess Bride themes party, and Kate had her Madonna themed party.
Yeah.
And they all had their friends except for Kevin, I think, or Randall had like 2 friends
He
show
had
up,
like 2 or 3 friends, right?
and that was it. And then
The parents were trying to compensate for
oh
that.
man,
though.
and I
It killed me.
You know what? I can see that
I
as a
get it.
parent. I can totally like this show like relates to me on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
Like as like the parent, as kind of like that weird kid that just
Yeah.
couldn't like relate as a child, and then like
I'm raising my hand because it's the same thing, man.
you know,
Same
and then
thing.
like you get into high school and you're kind of popular or whatever. I mean, I people tell me I didn't feel that way inside. Like
I didn't either,
I
yeah.
knew a lot of people in high school and stuff, but I wouldn't really have considered myself to be popular.
Sure.
I never felt that way. I always felt like I was just this weird outcast that glommed onto groups that
Me too.
you know. But like you kind of feel that way about all of these characters here, and Kate just like God, my heart breaks for Kate every time she's on. But she's so fucking strong.
She is. And
She's
but
so
I
like
think a lot of it is stubbornness though, because she's had to learn to be that way.
oh yeah, and like in this last episode where like she's had this dude she goes to a fat camp for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And it's like this great program, and it helps like try to like it's almost like detox or like rehab where they get to the will you stop fucking with your phone?
I'm sorry.
Or at least shut the noise
Yeah,
off.
I didn't mean for the noise to happen.
But hey Siri. Yeah, that's my gift to you guys, my listeners.
Dick.
But like
Oh.
so she's finally like she's tried dieting, she's tried this, and she's about to go into gastric bypass.
Yes.
And the doctor she was seeing was like, "Hey, we got this
They suggest
alternative
this
program." And like there's this dude there, he's a total douche nugget.
What was his name again?
Douche nugget.
Well, I mean, yes.
Twat waffle.
Yeah, pretty much. Regardless, he was just a dick, and he was a cocky, smarmy.
But he's that dude.
Asshole.
But you know what he is? He's that dude in high school that all the chicks fell for.
See, I didn't get that. What I got from him was the guy who
Or he's
wanted
the guy
to be that guy, or didn't get attention,
and he overcompensated by
Yes.
being an asshole.
Yes, that's the impression that I got from him. Not the guy who all the girls wanted to do.
But you know what though? There were those dudes as well.
Oh, they're totally.
So,
were.
but like he's like, oh yeah, you know, hey, if you ever want to, like, and
I'm in
she's
cabin 13A.
she's
blah,
engaged.
blah.
Yeah, she's engaged at this point while she goes to this fat camp. He's like, hey, I'm in 13A. You know, you want to come over here? And like he's like pressing her
He was trying to
hard,
break her down. Yeah.
and like. And then you find out, like, dude, the best. She comes to the door and she tells him, go fuck yourself. In not so many words.
Ask Jake. I was screaming at the fucking TV last week because I'm like, don't do it, Kate. Don't
Yeah,
go there.
because they left you on a cliffhanger, and you like
Total
you see her
cliffhanger.
like her walking towards his cabin.
Yes. And she let him have it. And then you find out that dirty SOB, his parents run the camp.
My daddy runs this place.
And then it all made sense.
And then they kicked him out.
Yeah,
and
and
they
then
kicked Kate out.
It all made sense though why he was acting like he was.
Yeah. So, but like her arc has just been great. And then like the Thanksgiving episode,
Oh,
where
my God.
like Toby has a heart attack. Like they
was
kind
Christmas.
they kind of break up ish.
Yeah,
And
they
he
were
just
kinda split up.
Yeah, and he just shows up at Christmas. It's kind of like
I
that
cried.
one of those like you complete me moments.
Yes, Jerry
you know?
Maguire, man. Yeah.
So he comes up and he's all like, oh, he gives her the speech, and then they go bang upstairs.
Yeah.
And then he comes downstairs and he has a freaking heart
That's a
attack.
heart attack, man.
Bam,
Breaks
end-
the table.
End of episode.
Yep.
And we waited like
End
3-4 weeks to find out
Yep.
what happened next. And then he had a bypass? Or did he do angioplasty? I can't remember what the surgery
I don't think it was
he
a
did.
bypass. I feel like it was an angioplasty.
He had arrhythmia. Wasn't it arrhythmia?
Was it?
I think it was arrhythmia. Either way, they fixed him.
He had surgery regardless.
Yeah, and he
so-
was all nervous about it, blah, 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 blah. But the fact that she stuck with him, you know, and he's like, because at the beginning, he was kind of a dick, too, a little bit. Like, and so
you
Toby
think
is
so?
being played by Chris Sullivan, who, as Dana mentioned prior, was from Stranger Things. Yeah, think
I don't
about
think
it.
he was a dick.
Like, think about it. Like, they were trying to eat healthy, and she was trying to get him on a healthier kick, and he was doing it. And then next thing you know, she goes over to his apartment. And there's like 5 pizza boxes stacked up, and he's just like, "Look, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do."
See, I don't think it was him being a dick. I think it was just his struggle with his eating issues. I don't think it was him being a dick so much as I'm going to try to be good for you when I'm with you. And I want you to be able to see that because I want to support you.
Yeah, it's kind of like that biblical thing where
It's like Jake. No, I'm kidding.
No, actually, I was just gonna jump in there. You're not that far from the truth.
I'm not trying to be a dick to my
'Cause
husband because I'm fat right now and I'm trying to lose
You're
weight.
not,
I am, but
but
whatever.
You do everything you can, and you adjust your diet, and you do what you need
Except
to
for
do.
this wine tonight, but whatever. I'm tracking.
it's apples. It's like
And-
juice.
right.
When I'm at home, I absolutely eat healthy as hell.
When you're
But
on the road,
when
you're
I'm
eating
on the
triple
road-
Right,
cheeseburgers.
it's fucking Snickers
Sometimes
bars
there's
and ice cream
nothing
for
better I
days.
can do than
No, that's
chicken
bullshit.
McNuggets
That's
or
bullshit.
fillet of fish.
That's bullshit. But
Give me
It
a fillet of
is,
fish
it
because
is.
it's got less calories.
Oh
'cause
no,
it's
it's
fish.
deep fat
hold
fried.
the cheese, please. Right.
Dude, if you put cheese anywhere near fish, you should deserve to be kicked
You
in the
should-
nuts.
You should be castrated as far as
Well,
I'm
the
concerned.
fillet o fish is good with cheese, but that's
No.
about it.
No, you're wrong.
So no,
Anyway, so
but
so that's Kate, and she's such a strong character, and like she's total. I would say that she is a role model for young girls.
I think so,
Like-
100%.
Because she's like at the beginning of the series, she wasn't so confident. She's finding her
She
confidence.
finally did, and she did because, as you touched on before, she started to break out of Kevin's shadow.
Yeah.
That's what it was, and
That's
she
what it was.
finally because I feel
Even to the point where Randall as well is breaking out of Kevin's shadow
yeah.
because Kevin was famous.
Well, and it's not just that, but Kevin, even as a child, when you see his character as a child, he was a presence to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah, he was a good-looking kid. He was a sports star.
Popular kid,
Dumb as fuck.
but it's kind of like that typecast thing, right? So that she started to break out of that, and yeah, and Randall too. But I really feel like. I think the next few episodes, I feel like the season's going to end on some crazy cliffhanger again because we know
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen. But I think it's going to be something to do with Kate. I don't think it's. That's my opinion.
I think the cliffhanger is actually going to be Jack's death.
You think so?
I think so.
I think we're going to find out next week though that he dies. That's what I think because so again, spoilers, but you see him sit. So we have to set this up, right? So his wife, she sings. She's in a band now with somebody who she used to date for like 2 fucking minutes. And they're going out on tour.
And then like Jack has this like total insecure bullshit. The fact that despite the fact that
get
they've been
it, though.
Yeah, but they've been married for so long.
But he might be thinking she's getting bored, and she is not bored, but like she said this week, like I've put my life on hold.
And she's
For
banging
you.
hot. And dude, you know
He was in True Blood.
True Blood, it was
Sam.
Sam.
It was Sam. Yeah,
Well, crazy thing is, his name in real life is Sam Trammell.
that's right. I thought because I
I was looking at him like, where did I know this cat from? And sure enough, like,
Suka Stackhouse. That's how
Dude.
you know him.
dude, seriously, I got sucked into True Blood. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch this.
Yep.
So did we.
And I'm like, oh, the first season was good. Second season was good. I'm like, this is a fucking soap opera. Third season, fourth season, fifth season.
Yeah, but I think the last 2 seasons of that show were like. But
Yeah, yeah.
anyway. But yeah,
Every television show goes on 1 season too long.
I agree. I agree with that. Like Felicity season 4. So but
Heroes any season after season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Jack's gonna die next week. I really do, because I hope not, but I think we've been seeing more glimpses of like the funeral,
The mortality, and that
Yeah.
and now especially with and I think like
I hate
with
Miguel.
this, I don't hate Miguel because we don't know what exactly happened after Jack died.
I know, but I still hate him for that, because he drops hints how he thinks that Rebecca's hot and Jack's
Well,
so
she's
lucky.
banging. What do you-
She is. She's gorgeous. But sorry, I totally sidetracked for a second again. But
Okay, so
that's
Miguel.
why I hate him.
Miguel is
Jack's best friend.
Jack's best friend, and after Jack passes away, we don't know what the stretch of time is. It could have been 10 years afterwards.
It could have been.
We don't know, but he ends up marrying Rebecca.
But it's interesting how he just split up with his wife.
Yeah, but
The
he
parallel
was trying to
stories.
bang that one chick at the gig.
But he's just trying to get it in, dude. Like, I mean, if I was him, I'd be
Look,
trying
yeah.
to get it in too, you know? But you know, I just feel like he was trying to be Jack, and he wanted Jack's life.
Dude,
That's why
everybody
I don't like
wants
him.
to be Jack. And so let's kind of jump back to point here. So next, the next character is Kevin, which is
The man.
the pretty boy, the Manny, which is the show he's on because he's a male Manny or male nanny.
I heard he was on a soap opera.
He was on several. He was on The Young and the Restless.
That's
he did
what it was,
He did
yes.
100 episodes of The Young and the Restless, but he was also on a show called Passions.
What the fuck is that show?
It was on from 1999 to 2008. He did
What?
1,383 episodes of that show.
Was it an NBC show?
It must have been.
Telenovela.
Now, here's something that'll bring him back to our WB DC Comics world, because everything comes back to
It
comics
has
for me.
to. Well, in WB for me because of Felicity.
Yeah. They did a pilot for an Aquaman series.
What?
Shut up.
He played Aquaman in the pilot.
Get out. Now, how old is he in real life? I feel like he's our age.
he's 40.
Yeah.
So he's our age.
Yeah, he did he did Aquaman in 2006. It was the pilot, and it never really went anywhere.
I mean, duh. Sorry.
Dude,
It actually, the way comic book shows have
He's
been going.
dope.
For fuck's sake, they have a Green Arrow TV show.
which it's interesting that you bring that up because Justin, the actor's name is Justin Hartley.
That's why you kept calling him Justin.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
He played Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, in Smallville.
Shut! I didn't realize Oliver
Shut
Queen was
the
in
front door.
Smallville.
Yes.
Shut your
Now
face
I've got to
hole.
rewatch Smallville.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime now.
I will be watching it now.
Yeah, but he was in many episodes of that. I think it said that he was in like 30 episodes, 40 episodes. Let's see here. Thank you, IMDb, and my internet is actually working today.
Oh, get off your phone. I'm just kidding.
Ah.
Let's see here. Yeah, well, this is part of this fucking thing. He was in 72 episodes of the 10 seasons that there were there.
Wow.
Yeah, he was in Chuck. He was in Castle.
He was in Chuck?
He was on one
Really?
episode. Yeah, he was
Oh,
on one
one
episode
episode.
of Chuck. He was a guest star. But yeah, he was on Mistresses as well. Kirsten watches that.
I don't know what that is.
It had
ABC show, right?
Yeah, it was an ABC show with
It was all these maids, right?
no. It was what's her nuts?
No, they had a
Alyssa
show.
Milano was in it.
No, Jake, you give me like the scoff, but they had a show on that it was like these maids who like I don't know.
Desperate Housewives?
No, it wasn't Desperate Housewives. It wasn't, but there was a girl from maybe that show or another show or Scrubs who was on that who was on this whatever. That's what I thought the show was that
Gotcha.
you were talking about.
But yeah, so he's like his arc has been pretty redemptive. Like,
So God, I did not realize that.
yeah.
I mean, I total transparency. I haven't researched.
Oh, I did.
I know you did, fucker.
Dude, honestly, like when I watch TV, and it's kind of annoying to Kirsten because I'll be watching TV and I've got my phone going on IMDb because I'm trying to learn everything I can
To
about
figure
whatever.
it out, sure.
Not necessarily
Interesting.
spoilers, but I want to learn about the actors
About the
and all
actors
their
and their
shit. Mm-hmm.
backgrounds, absolutely.
So,
But yeah, so Kevin, I mean, he has turned into one of my favorites on
Yeah.
the show.
like he was just totally like he quit
You
the
are
show.
Jack Pearson's son.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, that killed me. I
Told
started
you you
crying.
were gonna cry.
And like he really started off the series as just this like vapid character, like.
Sad. Yeah.
But like I respected him in the second episode where he like walked off his TV show.
Oh God, I did too. I was
Because he's like,
"Thank
look,
you."
I just want some integrity. Like, he's like, I've been acting forever. And all I do is just take my shirt off.
But then he went to
Which
Broadway.
is ironic because all the CW shows is, as Kevin Smith says, it's the boys with no shirts
It
on
is.
network.
On the salmon ladder.
Yeah.
Well, then he goes to this Broadway show, gets on, gets to be part of the cast, and then bangs the lead woman, and then she leaves, and then he bangs the writer.
Do you know who the writer is?
Where is she from?
Those AT&T commercials. She's the clerk.
Get out! That's her.
Yeah.
It's been killing me for weeks because I didn't look them up. I kind of leave that stuff to Reuben because
I'm a nerd.
Not because you're a nerd, but because
I have the time to research it. You're too busy doing schoolwork and taking care of your parents.
and
It's
I
understandable.
appreciate that.
Are you having the
But-
Katie Couric dream again?
That was pretty good.
Yes. I did not know that. But
Yeah.
it was killing me. I'm like, who the fuck
do I know
is
this
she?
chick
Yeah.
from?
No way. Okay. But yeah, so he goes, he leaves the Manny, goes to this Broadway show, off-Broadway show,
Off-Broadway.
really, but gets in, bangs the lead chick, then she leaves, then he bangs the
She was
writer.
a twat, though.
She was a total fucking twat. Like, I kind of wanted to shave her head. I was that pissed when they went up to the cabin and Randall got high that day.
Dude, oh, that was a great episode. That whole Thanksgiving episode was so good.
It was. I just the whole
This whole fucking
guys. I
series.
mean, here's the thing. We are sucking the show's dick. You need to watch it. I mean, like. I don't know what you're doing with your life if you're not watching this show. I even managed to find time to watch this show, but no, I want to hear your thoughts about Kevin though. I'm really interested to hear.
Well, for me, it's like I see a lot of myself in Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
No, I don't mean that in a shitty way, but I can
But,
see.
like, he's just one of these guys that has just aspirations.
Yes.
And he's like, he just wants to. I think it stems back from when he was a kid.
He strives to be the best.
No. He strives for attention. Because I really think that, like, his whole character goes back to Randall's getting all the attention. Kate's getting all the attention. Why do people be actors? Oh, yeah, they like to act. They love the attention.
And
if you meet
Yeah.
an actor that doesn't like the attention, then fuck you. They're not whatever.
And I guess I guess I should qualify when I say to be the best. It's because of. I mean, that's the root of it, right? To get the attention.
Right. So I see myself in that. Like I was an only child growing up, raised by a pack of wild lesbians, who obviously, like I was the only child. So I was always striving for attention and doing whatever I could to get attention from these adults.
Sure.
So, like, I matured a lot faster than a lot of the people that I grew up with. Doesn't necessarily mean that I was emotionally ready for it all.
Right.
But I had to mature a lot faster than a lot of my peers because, look, I was hanging around with adults when I was, like, 2,
I get it,
And-
man.
So it was one of those things where I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with my life, at this point, even as a damn near 40-year-old man, But, like, I can see myself in Kevin because it's like he's like for years, like just looking. I think he's looking to be loved.
Yeah.
And I think
Bingo.
like he found it with his ex-wife, but
He fucked it up.
somehow he messed it up.
He fucked it up. He was
going for more. He cheated.
Yes.
But
Thank you.
he was going for more attention.
That's it. That's what it is.
We've
We've dated cheaters. We know that that's what the fuck it is about that. You want attention. They want attention. Like that's, yeah.
Word to your mother.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those where like he's just striving for that attention. He's so starved for it.
Yes.
Which he's grasping for it now that he's the producer of the play.
Yeah.
And
Because
he's
he bought it out or whatever.
Yeah. So and he's just trying so hard to like find love somewhere. And then when he tries to win his ex-wife back.
Oh my God.
Like that whole like 3 episodes ongoing, like, and that was the best thing too when Toby finally catches him and he's like, if you had 3 sentences
Oh God, I know.
to say to somebody to win them back and that was the one episode you and I talked about. Oh, was he going to go after the
Yes.
actress chick or was he going to
Or
go
the
after
producer
the
chick
writer
or whatever? Yeah.
And all of a sudden this blonde-haired woman shows up, and you're like,
I know, and you're scratching your head like,
who is this
the fuck
chick?
is this?
And you find out that it was his ex-wife
From childhood,
from
though.
childhood,
Like,
and that's the
not that they
dude,
were married.
That's
as
how
children.
amazing this show
Yeah.
is. The writing is so good that like it like weaves back, and like when you see him, it all goes
makes
back to that birthday
sense.
party episode.
Yes.
And they're like, hey,
And she was best friends with Kate.
and she the parents Jack and Rebecca say, hey, why don't you try and like hang out with have everybody hang out, or why don't you let
Basically
what's her name
integrate the
hang out with
parties.
why don't you let what's her name hang out with Kate? And he's like, but Dad, I love her.
Yeah. Oh,
At like-
God.
at like
10
12.
or 11, yeah, whatever the age was. Oh my God. I look, and you just see this little kid with the smile on his face. And let's take ourselves back to that age too, because that's the other thing.
Hormones are raging.
Totally, and not even as much as they are even a couple years
Later.
but
You get that first taste of it all.
Yes, as a kid, and to think about that, holy shit, mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah, and then just to see, I think that like at this point of his life, he's just finally starting to pull his shit together.
Well, that's
which
what it is.
which is interesting because like I was just a little younger than that when I finally started pulling my shit together right before I met Kirsten. Because I was
God.
about 30. Let's see, I'm 39 now.
39 now.
I met Kirsten 7 years ago, so I was 32.
God, was it 7? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Okay, yeah. So early 30s.
Yeah, and I was just starting to pull my life back together.
I was
After
early
all kinds of
30s
crazy
when I met
shit,
Jake.
you know, after all the crazy shit that happened in my life with everybody and everything
Right.
that ever happened to me,
Right. God, that's interesting.
Whether it be by my own hand or by others' hand, I don't want people to think that like I'm innocent in my entire life. I'm not. We all
have our shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's interesting though, because I met Jake 5 years ago, and I was 33 when I met him, going on 33. So
well,
that's
you're in
interesting.
you're in your Jesus year.
Totally, I was in my Jesus year. But that's interesting because it's around the same time for you, like same age. So
Age-ish.
to think about that, that's a really good way to relate that.
Yeah. So yeah, I Kevin's arc. I mean, he's kind of the. I hate to use tragic character,
But that's
but
dead
he's
on.
kind of what it is.
You're
like
right.
he's finally finding his redemption, and I hate to say it, but he's gonna crash again.
I feel the same way because I feel like now he's riding this high
Especially after this last episode
with
where
the ex-wife.
no,
Oh, you mean with Randall?
no,
What then?
with the producer or with the writer of the play. Like there was this weird little interchange between the two of them.
I caught that though too. But you think that's going to be something?
With the guy who's
Can't
striving.
keep his dick in his pants.
No, I won't even say that. But a guy who's striving for attention and has narcissistic tendencies. Yeah, I can see that.
But he walked out on opening night.
Doesn't mean much. But he only did that because he knew that his brother needed him.
And brother is different than ex-wife.
But she's not. His
It wasn't
ex-wife.
it wasn't his ex-wife.
Well,
It was his side piece.
Well, yeah, I
Right,
understand that,
right.
but the whole thing was about him concerning his ex-wife, and he dropped everything for his brother. That's completely separate from everything else.
No.
Oh, no.
honey.
He
No.
he dropped his wife because he was a cheating shit. But for the whole thing was because he was finally learning how to be a brother to Randall for the first time in
Right.
36 years.
Bingo. You need to catch up, darling.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
And that's why I texted you. They should have, instead of calling this saying you are Jack's son, they should have
Yes.
called it Kevin learns how to be a brother.
Yeah, I mean, I told you were gonna cry this week again. I mean, duh, because I do every week too. That, oh my God! And when he's running and chucking it down the
Yeah,
street,
because like she the girl stumbles her line, and you're like,
Sloan or
oh,
whatever. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
her
like,
name
oh,
is,
you
yeah.
done fucked this play up already, and he was the one that was worried about screwing up.
Yes.
And then you come to find out that he just bolts.
Yeah,
But
I
what was
don't
it?
think it's just his brother that made him bolt.
No, it was Miguel, because he's like, what would your father do?
Oh, for sure.
What would your father do?
Yes.
Just when you're getting up there, what would he do? And he knew something was going on with Randall when he went to the office to go see him.
Oh, well, not even that, though. When he called Randall, because he was all pissed off that he wasn't coming to the show that night. And Randall was really odd with him on the phone. And that's when he caught it in his voice.
Yeah.
And it stuck in his head because you could see it as they were preparing to go on stage.
Yeah.
And you could see it was sticking in his craw. I still never expected that.
Yeah,
But it was a great
Yeah,
thing.
because really, he just shot himself in the foot, career-wise,
Oh God, yeah.
to be with his brother. But you know what? I applaud him for that.
I totally do
because
too.
they had such a strained relationship, from what had been depicted to us through the entire season.
Oh gosh,
so far.
Well, it's funny because these kinds of situations. So we'll delve personal again for a minute, right? So I've made it clear that I'm better than everybody else because I was pursuing my. I'm kidding, but
No, you're not.
I was.
You fucking liar.
I'm such an asshole. No, but because I had started pursuing my master's degree, right? But I've always had it in my heart that I wanted to be a nurse. And so things happened with my dad. And now I finally feel that I found my footing again. Like I feel like I kind of stumbled from. I don't know if that helps relate it to that, but that's what it reminded me of.
I always wanted to be a ballerina. I just could never scrape the shit off of my shoes.
That's what it reminded me of in my own personal life. A way to relate that, not in the sibling way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I have no point of reference for siblings at all.
I know. Yeah, I know you don't. I mean, I do.
I mean, I've got cousins
Hi,
that I'm
Denise.
close
I know
to,
you don't
but
listen.
yeah. So, but yeah, Kevin's character, is he's
evolving.
He's evolving. All these characters are.
They all are. I'm very excited to see how the next two seasons.
Dude,
It's
the
not
next
the end of the
episode,
season, but the
the
next
next
two seasons
episode,
too.
The next episode's going to be rough.
Yeah, that's why I said I really think Jack is going to die on the next episode.
No, did you not watch the previews for next
I
week?
saw it, but
It's gonna be.
You think it's going to be William? I don't.
Yeah.
think
So we haven't brought up William yet. William, like
Randall's dad.
Randall found his birth father, and this guy is an amazing character.
He's fantastic.
You find out that he's a jazz musician, that he's bisexual, that
was a shock.
That was
and another guy from True Blood, his boyfriend.
Who?
His William's boyfriend on the
Yeah,
show
what
was
did he-
Russell Edgington on True Blood.
Really?
Yes.
I never put two and two together
Look
with
it
that
up
one.
again. Yeah. It's because the hair isn't like it was in True Blood.
Okay.
Watch again. Yeah.
So William, actually, you find out that he's got stomach cancer, I think they said. I don't know if they
Pancreatic.
Is
pancreatic.
it pancreatic or is it colon cancer? It's cancer regardless. Yeah.
And he's finally got to the point where he's,
Gave up chemo.
gave up treatment. He's like, look, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. And like the one, there's been a lot of heart touching moments between the two of them. The car one where like he never learned how to drive a car.
And he put on the music. He said, "Put this in." Yeah.
Because there was a dude in his neighborhood when he was growing up that like would drive
the
in.
record store owner.
Yeah, the record store owner would drive up with this fancy car playing this awesome music, and he would just feel so cool with his fancy drink in his hand. And and that was the day that that Raji guy finally got introduced in the office.
Yes.
And Randall's like playing second fiddle like he used to play with Kevin. Dude, I didn't even think about that.
That's a really good parallel.
They're like, this Raji guy is coming in to help him out, and he's like, it's sibling rivalry all over again,
really
but
good
business
parallel.
in the business world.
Yeah.
So he basically like hijacks Randall's whole day
Yeah.
to go to this drink place to get a egg cream, and they go
His-
to this other place.
He didn't even drink it.
He didn't even drink it. Like they go to do all this shit, and it was just him trying to bond.
That's
Like,
all that it was. Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me, like when I was growing up, my dad actually, I called in. I was sick from school one day, and my dad showed up because my dad and I were very estranged for years and years and years. So my dad showed up, and it was one of the like weird times that he would just pop into my life.
Wow.
So he showed up one day, and he was driving cab, and he picked me up after I was sick at home. He picked me up and drove me around on his taxi thing. And I spent the whole day with him. And then I didn't see him again for like 4 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude,
I mean, I
long
know,
story for another
yeah.
day off podcast, but
I know somewhat of the relationship.
so
yeah.
like, and it just kind of reminded me of that. Like, I'm gonna hijack your day, and you and I are gonna spend some time together,
Wow.
and I'm gonna get to know you because I never did. You know, like the relationship between Randall and William like really hits me pretty hard. You know, and it's just kind of beautiful how that whole relationship, because it was like, oh, this is Dad's friend. Because he brings him home. He just shows up on William's doorstep one day. He's like, yeah, I'm your son. And he kind of gets all like dicky about it. He's
Got
like,
in his
look at this
face.
car here. This is like $120,000 car.
I did this without
I did this and I did
you."
all this shit and blah, blah, blah. You want to come home with me?
Yeah.
You know? Like, it
Yeah.
was like, and then you find out that he's got cancer and that his time is limited. And then he finally, Randall finally tells his kids that, yeah, this is your granddad, you
And then
know?
when he finds out that Rebecca knew
The
him
entire time.
all
Oh
along.
my God. That was right before the Christmas episode. And
Yeah.
that was a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
You know? And then, like, that whole relationship has been great. But the whole next episode is going to be a road trip episode with Randall and William. And they showed that in the
is.
previews for next
I don't
week.
think he's gonna die though. I don't think William's gonna die yet.
I don't think he's going to die, but I don't think they're really going to dive much into the other storylines right now.
You know what? That's fair. That's a fair.
Look,
assessment.
they got probably they're on episode
Episodes
15 right
or
now.
16,
There's going to
yeah.
be 22 to 24 episodes this season. So
You
they got
think so?
Yeah, a typical TV season runs 22 to 24 episodes. So they're going to try and or 26 at the longest if they're stretching it. So
I
they're
guess
gonna
that
they're
makes
gonna
sense.
they're gonna try and pull the storyline out as long as they can if they're smart, and they're gonna do the road trip episode because they're gonna go back to
Philly.
No,
not Philly. I'm sorry. It's
Memphis.
Tennessee.
They're
Yeah,
going to
it's
Memphis.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be that. So I'm excited to see what that's gonna turn into.
This coming week is gonna be interesting.
Interesting sidebar. William is the father of the actress who played Peggy Schuyler and Mariah Reynolds on Broadway, who's on the Hamilton soundtrack.
Really?
That's her dad, yeah.
How cool. What else has he been in?
Not much. I was looking it up, and he's been in stuff, but he hasn't been in like a lot
But not
of
in
stuff.
a lot of stuff.
No, like he. Let's see. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
There's a This Is Us group on Facebook, Reuben, that
Is it
I
really?
think that you would really dig being a part of. I joined like a month ago.
Gotcha. Ron Cephas Jones is the actor's name, and he played Bobby Fish in Luke Cage. I didn't even realize
My
that.
husband's head just whipped around like you put a cheeseburger in front of his face hole. Like
Luke Cage is fucking amazing.
Dude, he was in Mr. Robot, which I've not
What?
watched, but I
Wait a
heard
minute, back up. Who is
Who
in
was
Mr.
he?
Robot?
he was Romero. He was on 9 episodes on season 1.
Oh God, I gotta rewatch it. But fuck, okay, I think I know who that is.
Like
Damn.
one episode.
Oh no, yeah, I know who he is because he died in season 2. Spoiler alert.
Well, he had to. He's on This Is Us. But he was in Across the Universe. He played a Black Panther.
Really?
In Across the Universe, he was on Law and Order.
I have to rewatch Across the Universe now. That's
I
interesting.
couldn't get through that movie.
That's the thing. I couldn't get through it. Yeah, no.
It was one of those where it's like, what's her name? Oh, she's Lucy in the Sky. She came in through the bathroom window. I'm like, oh, you
It's
suck.
so trite. Yeah.
No, it's not trite. It's
I
just
thought it was.
it was one of those unimaginative things where they're like, they could have done so, because okay, anybody who doesn't know, Across the Universe was like a musical that they had based on the Beatles. And
But
they
that's
could have
why
done
I think it was trite.
no. They could have done. It could have been so much better than what it was, because the songs are stories in and of themselves.
Oh God, yeah.
But the way that whoever wrote the movie,
They didn't do it in a great
they
fashion.
weren't witty enough about it. They tried to be clever, and you can't be clever with shit like that.
Not with
Like seriously,
Beatles.
oh, she came in through the bathroom window. Okay, you know what? Yeah, we all know that's the fucking song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, duh. Why don't you do something smarter than that? You know.
That's why I'm saying.
Did she have diamonds?
That's her name, Lucy in the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. That's what they named the character,
Yeah,
or
no
Lucy
joke.
Diamonds or some shit.
Yeah, no joke.
yeah,
Wrong.
yeah.
Somebody bought that for me for Christmas like 8 or 9 years ago, and
Dude,
I,
and it had Bono singing "I Am the Walrus" or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's face looks like
Somebody shitting
a
his
screw
Wheaties.
puppet.
I just
yeah,
threw up in my mouth a little bit.
yeah.
So, but yeah, William's character's great. Now, just his arc has just been wonderful. Like, it's just been so wonderful and tragic and
Well, it's
heartbreaking
relatable for
and
you.
redemptive.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing about this show that I'm finding is there's a lot of redemption happening in this film, in this series.
Yeah.
So, the only other character we really not.
Rebecca.
Well, we talked about Rebecca.
Not in depth, but it doesn't really matter.
Well, the weird thing was at the beginning of the season, or like through the origins of it, you find out that she never wanted kids,
Right.
and then she ends up with fucking
And
triplets.
then, yeah, she did not want kids. She fought against it. I mean, I kind of get that.
And then he knocked her up in the shower.
No, it was at the fucking
Was it
bar.
at the bar?
It was
Yeah.
at the bar. Yeah.
Because they're Steelers fans. Because
Yes,
they were from
yeah, 'cause they're from Philly.
no
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Well, whatever.
Dude, you tell somebody from Pittsburgh that they're from Philly, they're gonna punch you in the dick.
They can punch me in my lady dick every day if they want to. I don't care. But that's like whatever. Anyway, what's the other character that you don't think that we've properly
We've
covered?
not talked about Miguel much. Miguel was he was
the asshole who I really can't stand.
I don't have such strong feelings about him.
And I have a feeling things will change.
Yeah, because I think that with you are Jack's son, I think that the relationship between him and Kevin's gonna rebuild.
Well, but see, again, we don't know the backstory, and I guess
Not yet, and that'll be. You know what? They're gonna stretch the season out to get to the end. I'm sure that's gonna be one of the plot points that they're gonna figure out.
Well, and I think for me as being a woman and watching this show, I catch things in his character when I watch these episodes. That's why I told you I feel like sometimes he's kind of a smarmy asshole where his intentions are not very good, and that's kind of why
Because we never really found out why he was getting divorced or why he got divorced
Right.
either.
But again, and you've seen hints where he throws that, oh, well, you're lucky to have Rebecca, and oh, you know, and she only has eyes for you. But the sideways comments that he makes to me, again, and maybe it's just because, not to be a jerk, but because I am a woman and like I've seen these kinds of fucking things before. Those are like sideways dick comments like, dude, I want to get it in with your wife.
Well, but then again, like the way that I look at it is Jack is such an upstanding character.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine him keeping someone in his life that's that much of a cocksucker.
But if you're an undercover asshole, man, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Miguel was like that all the time, but I'm saying that Rebecca came into Jack's life and Miguel was like dazzled by her anyway. Like,
Well, but the
weren't
thing
we
is, like,
all?
look,
I was.
Well, I mean, it's not. Well, and we don't know. I doubt it happened, but we don't know if they were. You know, there was no infidelity going on there between Miguel and Rebecca through the series
that we know of.
that we know of. So I mean, look, if it happened after Jack died, then it happened after Jack died.
Oh, for sure. If
There's
it was
no like
after,
shittiness going on there.
No. I
And he had to be like some charming motherfucker to like sweep her off her feet.
right.
Unless
I'm
he
not-
just caught her in that rebound after.
That's what I think it was. He caught her in the rebound, and
But at that point, like the kids were teenagers at that point. They would still have a few years to live with them. I'm thinking that it happened sometime down the road.
I don't know. I disagree with that, but we'll find out though as it unfolds.
Right. So, but here's an interesting little 6 degrees of separation with the actor John Huertas, who plays Miguel. He acted in a show with a gal who I went to high school with.
What?
Yeah, he was in Castle. And
Re-
Castle
oh, I
starred
remember.
Stana Kotick. Stana
Yes,
Kotick
your
and I
friend.
we knew each other in high school.
Acquaintances.
Like we had classes together. I couldn't necessarily say that we were friends,
Sure.
but like we knew each other in high school.
How funny.
Yeah, and so there were a couple episodes. I want to say that Kevin was in an episode of Castle as well.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Castle was a big show. It was a
Nathan
huge show on
Fillion.
ABC.
Yeah, dude.
So, why did you pronounce it like he's French?
Well, Nathan Fillion.
It's Fillion.
Fillion. Fuck you.
Peace pipe, crack pipe, it's all the same damn thing.
So, and then the only other person we haven't I didn't really research so much was Jack's wife, or not Jack's wife, Randall's wife.
Oh yeah, I didn't. No, I really haven't.
Well, you wouldn't have researched her anyway, but
Yeah.
but I mean, she's a really great character. She's a strong wife, man.
Oh my god, I love her character though.
She's a great
Yeah.
character. I didn't really care. Like, I'm not looking so much at Randall's kids because they're like 12 and 10, and
Right,
who gives
they're
a shit
little
about child
kids.
actors at that point?
Yeah.
But the actress that plays his wife, and I'm gonna look it up right here. Susan Watson is her name. She plays Beth. And
What else has she been in?
She was in Louie, actually. She was in a couple episodes of
Really?
Louie. She was on The Blacklist. Kirsten watches The Blacklist.
Okay.
Let's see. She did a couple episodes of The Following.
What?
Yeah, she was on The Following. She played a character named Cindy.
I'd have to watch that again
Yeah.
too because Jake and I did watch The Following because Kevin
Kevin
Bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah.
But she's done like one-off series here and there. Like she was on NCIS. She did a couple episodes of Numbers.
Huh.
One-off episodes. She's like a character actress.
That's what I was gonna say. A total character.
Yeah,
actress.
she was on Third Watch. She did like 12 episodes of that. But she's never really, it doesn't look like she's really done
No
a whole
movies?
lot. Well, she's done some movies, but nothing that I don't think any of us would have seen.
Probably not.
So
Sharknado, the
No.
Fourth Horizons.
nothing
Wasn't
really
Tara
that
Reid in that
terrible.
shit?
She's been in
She's
all
in
of them.
All of them. Okay.
So, but she's a great actress. I like her character. The episode where she got high with William was great. They ate pot brownies or something like that.
Yes, they did, and they.
And that's when she found out that
That
Will-
he had
that
cancer.
Well, no. That's when she found out that
Oh, that
Rebecca,
Rebecca
knew.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole shitballs.
As-
Guys, just if
As
you're
Smokey
not
said,
watching,
the weed be letting people know.
yes, if you're not watching the show by now, you should be convinced.
But the way that it's, I mean, seriously, I can't. Like, they should have won all the Golden Globes for. They should have
Yeah.
been nominated for writing because the writing is so spectacular on
Jesse
this show.
said that it was somebody from 30 something.
Yeah, one of the producers and one of the directors from 30 something. Now, that show is like 30 years old at this point.
Literally, yeah.
And like I never watched it because I'm like 30 something. I'm 9. I don't give a fuck.
There's no G.I. Joes in this.
Yeah, seriously.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Yeah. So, but I never watched the show. I think my folks watched it.
I think mine did too.
You know,
but
because they
yeah.
were 30. They were also
They were
30 something at the time.
30-something,
Maybe
yeah.
we should try to see if it's on like Netflix or some shit.
Would that not be a fucking trip, man? That would be fun for
I
us
don't know,
to
but I'm
watch
about to
that.
be 40 something in like less
Well,
than a
in a
year.
year.
We can start
It's
looking
fine.
up like Hill Street Blues.
No.
and-
No, no.
Saint Elsewhere.
Saint Elsewhere. Night Court. No, just
Oh, fuck
no.
yes, Night
Dude,
Court.
dude, I watched the fuck out of some Night Court when I was a kid.
No.
But just the way that it's written, how the stories kind of weave together, the
Yes.
plot twists that occur, but they're not really twists because like
They weave to it,
it's just
all
how everything
intertwined.
just kind of like it just perfectly gets sewn together. This show is a perfect quilt.
that How to Make an American Quilt.
I never watched it,
Oh my god.
but it's like it's definitely like it just every patch fits together perfectly.
It does.
The loose ends just kind of get tied up as it occurs.
Sorry.
And it's just seriously, it's such a great show, guys. I mean, look, for
We could go on for 2 more
2 more hours on
about
this show. But-
easily.
And I know that like this show's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and I know the folks
give
that
it a shot though.
yeah, the folks that are in the GARMY are going to be like, this is some pussy shit, but it's a great show. I mean, it's seriously like the writing, I can't get over the writing. The writing is one of the
relatable.
best network television shows, and I'm not going with like AMC shows and shit like that.
Right.
But
We're talking about the big major like
I would put
yeah.
this up against Mad Men.
You know, here's the thing. And
Not to say that they're like similar in tone
Not at all.
or content or anything like that, but the strength of the writing on both of
Yes.
these shows, I would
Quality.
the quality of
Right.
it.
And I think it comes
And there's nothing on network that's this quality
not
of
like
writing.
this. No, and I think we
Maybe
kinda
Designated
touched onto
Survivor,
it.
but
everybody can take something from this because
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You will relate even in some small way to a character or two
It's a
characters
family
or all
drama.
of them. It really is. And what was the other show on NBC? I never got
Parent-
into
or
it.
Parenthood.
I kept hearing and I keep hearing such great things
Same
about
here.
it, but
Never watched it.
never watched it. This though, I will watch the shit out of this show, and I think everybody else should too.
Yeah.
I really just I'm glad that we did this week because honestly, I think that we needed to get it out of our system.
Yeah, seriously, we've been
Finally.
we've been like teasing the balls for so long on this one. We
Yeah.
finally just needed to go on it. So,
This is true.
but yeah,
So,
we just
yeah.
needed to we just needed to I just cock gobbled producer Jake's ear. But we just it's just one of these shows that you just absolutely just have to watch it. Seriously, just if okay, honestly, if you put this on demand and you don't like the first episode, I will give you back the no dollars that you spent to watch it.
Oh. And I will second the no dollars that you spent to listen to this episode.
But I mean, honestly, take 42 minutes of your time.
Seriously.
And just watch the first episode. And if it doesn't hook you, then it's not going to be your show. But that first episode, like, dug its hooks into me hard.
Me too. And I didn't think it would. You kept telling me I was not convinced.
And honestly, pilots are not necessarily the best way to get into a
They're
television
not.
program. 90% of the time, the pilot is, you see where it could be. You can
Right.
you can see where it's going, so you're going to give it another shot, like Riverdale for me. I'm still not sold on it. The pilot was decent, so I'm going to check it out. Same thing with Powerless.
Sure.
It was a decent premise. I'll give it 5 episodes to give it a shot. This one, after the pilot, I'm like, this is going to be the new show that I'm going to be addicted to for the next God knows how long until it's done.
Yeah. I think, honestly, guys, I think that's a good summation of what you need to do with your life now. Watch This
Right.
Is Us.
Yeah, take a couple days vacation and just watch the 15 episodes.
Seriously, it took me a day and a half, and not a full day and a half, but like of watching, binge watching.
You can knock it out
You
in
can
the
knock it
weekend.
out in a weekend. I mean, I'm sure you watch other shitty shows on TV, so this will stand above those. Before we close, though, I want to make sure that I mention y'all should be liking us on social media. So we have at Pop Goulash on Twitter. We have facebook.com
/Pop Goulash.
Goulash, right. We're working on another Instagram, but for right now, it's my
Instagram can
page.
eat a dick. Well, I'm posting 2 on mine as well.
Right, we both are, but I'm
I'm
not going to give you
at-
our handles.
Huh?
I'm not going to give the handles right now.
Sure.
I mean, I could put them in the links on the episode, but best
But you
thing-
could also too on iTunes if you could like us on iTunes, if you could rate
review,
it and review us.
subscribe.
This at this point, like we're not taking advertisements at this point, which would kind of
Not
really
yet.
help offset a lot of the
production costs.
the production costs and whatnot. But we're not doing that. We want to just have fun, and we want you guys to be involved in this
Absolutely.
as much as you want to be. You know, and if you don't like the TV shows and shit that we're talking about,
Well, then screw you.
no,
Just kidding.
no. if you're not into what we're talking about, please give
Suggestions.
us some suggestions. I mean, we're gonna only talk about the shit that we like.
Right.
But unless if you guys call us at our number here, which is 224-325-4235, you can actually leave us a voicemail. And hey, we might actually play you on the air.
And you could email us at popgoulash42@gmail.com. I mean, it's not that difficult to get in touch with us, guys.
Seriously, and we want to make the show as interactive as we possibly can,
Yes.
because honestly, despite the fact that we will never run out of stuff to listen to or watch, we're only going to be recommending stuff that we like. We want to hear what you want. If you got something that you want us to try to check out, like
Say it.
like Brian did with the Deads. Let us know, because otherwise we're just going to talk about shit that we like, and you guys are going to get bored with us, and we don't want that. We want you guys to be part of this show.
You guys need to be part of the show. And I'm trying to convince Reuben to come to the tattoo convention next month. and podcast live while we're there, while I'm getting a tattoo.
Yeah, and I'm trying to convince Dana and producer Jake to come to C2E2 for at least a day.
I don't think that's going to be a terrible stretch. I think we need to come to a compromise. I think that we could,
Depending on what's going on with my racing and the cars that I'm working on this season, that may be possible. But if I'm at a
here, we'll
race,
just say this.
then
We don't need Jake to do shit live.
Right. That's
No,
what I was
remotely.
gonna say.
they can just borrow my equipment.
That's great.
But yeah, please interact with us. We are nothing without your
job on the page.
Yeah, we're nothing without our listeners. And hey, you know what? Big shout out to all of our UK listeners that just joined in.
Yeah.
We were so stoked to see that.
Wales and Northern Ireland. Come on.
Yeah, we were stoked to see you guys joining in on the fun.
Slancha.
So please, just have fun with us, and that's all we got for you this week, really.
Yeah, just what do you say, Reuben? Be good
kind
to each
to each
other.
other.
Be kind to each other. So with that, kids,
We'll talk to you next week.
have a good week. Bye.